I didn't see who came in, but give me a second. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna go here. Turn that down. Oh, hi Gandalf. How are you? Watch that. That's good to hear. See how many people decide to show up today. What's that on? My phone's been doing crazy things. Open, open. There we go. You can hear me fine, right? It's warm in here. I'm just going to call you Sam. That's an awful lot to say, but I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Okay, good. I always wonder if I'm talking and nobody can hear me. Usually I use the first person as a test subject, so. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear everybody so far is doing okay. Anybody get anything new recently? You two chat for 1 second. I didn't grab water, so I'm going to go grab a quick drink of water. Hold on. I'm coming back. Okay, I'm here. Well, we got 5 people, but only 2 of you are commenting. What's up with the rest of the 3 of you? Yeah, well, you don't even want to know. Hey, Spidey V, how are you? Goldie, I'm doing Tracy. We're gonna get more people in here before we start getting into the meat of everything. So, yeah, Sam, that kind of sucks. Trust me, I've had a very bad month and a half, 2 months, but I've actually found some reasons why. So I can share some of that with everybody. I got 3 new things in. There were 5, but only 3 made the trip. So, and I'm getting, I have 1 package coming from a friend sometime maybe this week, if not early the following week. We still have the package coming from, yeah, him. Yeah, I'm absolutely horrible with names. It's the weekend. I have no idea how or who anybody is anymore. Um, Jeez, I feel terrible. I can't think of his name. I talked to him quite a bit. goodness, I can't think of his name. And then I'll have something coming back from Pulp Friction. The we have an expo coming up too in May 19th, I think. My brother and I are going. Hey Shani, how are you? Am I quiet meaning you can't hear me, or I'm not a big Pampabedius fan, only because I have had a hard time keeping them alive, but I've never had a Mashallah. So it's been a bad year. Total, the whole year's been crap from the very beginning, but the last 5 weeks have been pretty bad with the collection. So, and again, I found something that I wished I would have known. Um, I had a handful, had 5 baby spiders die in a matter of, God, Tracy, do you remember how many days? It was like well, they all died pretty much the same time. They were fed on a Friday and dead on a Sunday, I believe, if I remember correctly. Or they were fed on a Wednesday and dead on a Friday, something like that. But I fed, all the little guys behind you here, everything here. And then there's a handful more small ones behind me, one or two. So there was a total of like 25 to 30 little spiders that I fed, watered, and 2 days later, 5 of them I found dead. 2 of the Harpactira pulchripes that I got in that auction, that kind of really, that one really got to me because I was looking forward to raising those. One of my OBTs died that we were going to do the experiment with, and that one kind of bugged me. And I don't even, honestly, I can't remember the other 2. Vicularia urinensis, I think, was one of them, and I can't remember what the other one was. It's almost like you want to just try and forget it, but apparently, um, we flea treat our dog, and generally, when my wife does that, I know about it, and I didn't know about it. So that was right in that time frame of when all this happened. And Bailey comes in here quite a bit, and she'll lay on the bed, and I'll scratch her belly or whatever. So I'm assuming that there was transfer from that to whatever the feeders were, whether it was indirect contact or direct contact, whatever it may be, and that's why so many died so quickly. But the other ones didn't, so it still kind of boggles my mind why. But yeah, that was that was uh, that was crap, to be honest with you. Oh, Brandon, what tarantula do I recommend for a beginner? I really don't care if I can handle them or not. Um, it depends on what you want to spend, the availability. I would look at Gramostole pulchripes always, Brachypelma albulosum, um, uh, GBB, the Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens. It's probably, if you want to recommend a spider to keep people in the hobby as a beginner, that's probably the one to do it with because of the color change that they eat and they're visible. That's the best out of all those that I can really say. I mean, the other 2 can be a little bit pet rocky, so they don't really move a lot, or they'll burrow as little slings, so people lose interest kind of quickly. But I think a GBB is probably what I would recommend the most. But it matters on what you're interested in and what you think you can handle, because there's all kinds of people that'll help you with the basic care setups and some of the other things. It's the rehousings and feedings really. I mean, if you're one of the people that has a spider and you just barely lift the lid off and you throw the feeder in and you close it right away, I mean, I've had a couple that I do that with. That's probably not a spider you want to have. So but yeah, I mean, really, whatever interests you, then talk to people and find out. I think that's the best way to do it. You don't really want to get something that I just recommend just because I say it, so it's going to be a good one, because it may not be a good one for you, but it may be a good one for somebody else. So really, getting to know you a little bit more and your tastes. Break it down. Go online, look at videos, look at a bunch of pictures, go to the websites of the people that sell them, and then look at pictures and see what kind of pops out on your eyes first, and then go from there. That's what I would say. Yeah, if you could find H. chilensis, that's, you know, that's a way to go. It's just trying to find them. And I say this as I got a second one. Nobody really, not many people know about it. Um, it came in with the stuff from Pulp Friction, but it wasn't actually. I'm trying to figure out a way to keep this thing. Okay. Last time I did a video, okay, so last time, if any of you guys are with me on the last live feed, it just died, is because my strip here, everything was plugged into, and I didn't realize that it was off. So my phone, this phone here that I film on, which is my old phone, it died, and when it dies, it's done. So that's what kind of happened last time. But I film on my old phone here, and then watch you guys on my newer phone. Oh, cardiac monitoring. That's not always a good thing. My wife had to do that for a little while too. Ephibopus marinus are great. I love them. I hope everything works out with your cardiac monitoring there. How you doing, Kalia? Yeah, I got a new H. chilensis. A buddy of mine, one of the guys that is one of my other admins on the tarantula community group, found an ad on Craigslist. A guy that was selling his collection, and he had certain prices for everything. Well, I think Ian just bought everything, and then some people bought the stuff from him. But I wanted to get the H. chilensis. So I had two, because, you know, I mean, my female, I'm not really quite sure how old my female is. I mean, she's had an egg sac before, so definitely she's a mature female. But this one's a little bit smaller. We do believe this one to be female too. Anyway, he got it all, and then the stuff went to another of our admins, which is Kelsey. She pronounces it Kelsey or Chelsea. I never really asked her. I'm gonna say Kelsey, but it's probably Chelsea. Anyway, she's got the 8th page YouTube channel, so she got them in, and then she gave them to Allie at when they were at Tinley, or at the St. Louis show. Sorry, that St. Louis show, that Show Me Tarantula, Show Me Snakes Tarantula Takeover. So she gave it to Allie, and then Allie sent it to me. But you don't even really want. The funny thing is that he only paid $20 for her. That's all she was listed for. So he got a really screaming deal. I was going to pay for it, but he wanted to get it for me as a gift. So we do have another one. So I think we're going to do a video on those two guys coming kind of soon, maybe, depending. Yeah, P. muticus there's nothing wrong with getting a P. muticus, really. There's some certain things that you have to pay attention to. Not that their keeping or their care is tricky, it's their feeding is a little bit more tricky than most spiders are, smaller ones, because they will seal themselves off very, very deep, and when they seal themselves off, they can't feel up above like some other spiders do, because they don't lay a lot of web up there. So they depend on food that kind of migrates through the ground into their burrow in the wild, like worms or beetles or larvae or whatever it may be. So getting them to eat and grow is a task, and they grow super, super, super slow for an old world tarantula. The P. metallica, again, it's just the speed with them that you have to worry about. They're really no more different. No spider's really any more different care. If you take the time and you're responsible enough, you pretty much can keep anything as a beginner. I really honestly feel that way. I didn't a long time ago, but I do feel that way, after listening and talking to people more and getting a feel for the hobby more. You really can. I really do believe most people can keep just about anything as a new keeper. Yeah, I mean, I've had people offer me males for my female that I have right now, again, to try and repair her. Not repair, I mean repair her. So trying to breed her again, I guess we should just say it'd be a little bit easier. But I've turned them down because, first of all, I don't know if she's actually gravid because they do take a long time. And second of all, after her eating the last male, I'm not real too keen on putting another male in there. I had Dustin had one sent to Warren, and Warren was going to send to me, and we decided to bypass me and go to Ruth with him. So I don't know, what's going on with Ruth. If she's paired hers and it was okay, and they're still looking for somebody, maybe they can send me her. But I'm actually perfectly content right now without breeding anything. I don't know that I can handle that right now. I mean, if she's gravid, she's gravid. If she lays eggs, she lays eggs. That'll be great. But right now, she's the only one in my collection that has been paired that has the possibility of doing that. Yeah, I think, Trace, I think you're right, but in a sense, I think that the research part gets overblown and overkilled because what research do we talk about is the big thing. And you see people in the group always say that, research, 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 go to Google, look this up. But most people don't understand that the stuff on Google is very, very unreliable. The best thing to do is join a group, find people that you can talk to, find people that know what they're talking about, and pick their brains. It's better to get the information firsthand. The problem is that you really need to spend some time on the groups to weed through the people that think they know what they're talking about, but really don't, and find the people that actually really do know what they're talking about. There's just too many of the people that think they know what they're talking about, and they really, really don't know what they're talking about. There's things in this hobby that I have no idea about. I mean, if you ask me to ID one of the Asian spiders, odds are I'm not going to be able to do it. The definitive Chilobrachys, unless it's a Fimbriatus or a species electric blue. But the Discalus and some of the other ones, visual sight, they're brown spiders. Sometimes it's very difficult to figure it out. All those earth tigers, Haplopelma, the Cereopagapus, I really don't spend enough time looking at them to ID them. So I would tell you that straight up. I have no idea. But you have people that want to just guess with everything because they want people to think that they know what they're talking about. And I wish people would just be comfortable with what they know. But the problem is I don't think people understand that they really don't know what they think they know. That's the big problem. That's what I would get. I would go to the GBB, really. I mean, that's the best thing to start out with. They're good eaters. They grow pretty quickly. They're really, really pretty. They got some great coloration changes. Get one around 3/4 of an inch. That's what I would say. That they're easy to take care of at that size. It's just no different than when they're bigger. Keep them dry. Don't dampen them down. Keep them dry. Just give them a water dish. They'll be fine. They're one of the ones that I would say that you'd be more apt to try and keep a little bit more arid than some of the other ones. Oh yeah, firsthand experience. That's the big thing is that people don't get it. People that have been doing this for a long time, that have had and raised a bunch of different spiders over the course of the years, those are people you want to talk to. It's not the one that started collecting 3 months ago and all of a sudden has 140 tarantulas because they had money just to blow, and it's a keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing. We have too many people like that. And the problem is the people that do know stuff, they're kind of more reserved about giving information out because people don't want to listen to them and they don't want to believe them. So we have, in the tarantula community, we have a handful of arachnologists and a handful of people that have actually discovered and named tarantulas out in the wild in that group, and they will come in every now and then and they will say stuff and people just won't believe them. And this is the day and age that, if you're in your 20s and someone in their 50s starts talking to you, you don't want to believe them. You don't want to listen to them because you know more now. You learn. I'm not dissing anybody, but the knowledge and the way people get information is like that. You can get it like that, but it doesn't mean it's right. That's what the problem is with the internet, is that everybody wants to believe that once they push that button and they get a search and that first thing that they read, it's got to be right, because why would the internet lie, right? It's a bunch of people that have written things, and you clump them together, and it doesn't mean that they're necessarily right. Anybody can go to Wikipedia and make a wiki. Quentin's done a few of them from our group. He's done a handful of them, so you can update them, you can add to them. There's all kinds of different things you can do. It doesn't mean that they're right. And things that Mike Jacoby did 10 years ago doesn't mean that is good now. You know, I mean, his care sheets for the most part are, you know, a good baseline to look at. But there's a lot of copy and paste. If you go and read them, there's a ton of copy and paste. And I mean, I love the guy, I adore the guy. He's done a lot in the hobby, but you know, it's time to get with the new ages and the new ways and the new methods and you know, keeping animals. People evolve, you know, and we find new ways. People try new things and find out that this works a lot better than what we thought before. So, you know, it's every people need to be open-minded in the hobby. I used to be very closed-minded because this is the way I was told, so this has to be right. These are people that told me. All these other people are wrong, and then I'm finding out that there's more than one way to really do this hobby. There's a lot of them, a lot of different ways to do this hobby. Oh, glass. It depends on, you know, I mean, it depends on what size spider you're getting, Brandon. You can get cheap aquariums at any, you know, any fish store or reptile store or, you know, exotic pet store. You know, you can get the things like the Exoterras. You know, they're behind me. See them over there? They're glass. They have front open doors. They're different sizes, like this one here. This one here is 8 by 8 by 8. This is my NC Acrotella olivacea in here. This is a great type of enclosure for a GBB. Gives you a little bit of height. You could put some decor in there for it to, you know, web and anchor up to, and give it a little bit of room to make a burrow. Um, you know, kind of maneuver some logs together to make a little opening and let them crawl behind there and web up their area, or let them dig. Spanish moss. If you're gonna have a GBB, get yourself some Spanish moss. They love it. You could just throw a whole bunch of Spanish moss in there, and they will build a tunnel inside there, and that's how they would naturally live in the wild. To be honest with you. It's just, you know, a lot of people just don't have the capability to listen. That's the problem. Hey Peter, how are you? Oh, I'm surprised. Where's our little Princess Sophie Pink right now? What adventure is she off on today? Does anybody know? I don't think she's anywhere today, is she? She's going to end up on the Tonight Show over here in the States pretty soon. So I've had a lot of people ask, and I mean, I guess we could start this right now. A lot of people, I've had a lot of people, tons of people, asking me what's going on. You know, where have I been? What's going on? Why am I not making videos? Blah blah blah. Let me answer Brandon's question. I have my adult in the 12 by 12 by 12, Brandon. That's what my large female is, and it's very adequate. The space is adequate. She's a full grown spider, and she's in a 12 by 12 by 12 by, yeah, 12 by 12 by 12. She's perfectly fine. You know, the 8 by 8 by 8 would be good for. You could put a small one in there. I wouldn't really recommend, three-quarter inch one, but you get an inch and a quarter. I would throw them in there and let them grow till they're about 3.5, 4 inches, and then put them in 12 by 12 by 12, and you're done. Or, I don't know. I'm not a, because my condensation here. If I could put slings in something like that, not real small ones. I mean, they'd have to be at least inch and a quarter. I would probably do it if I only had 20 or 30 spiders. But having this many, you can't do it. You just kind of pick your favorite ones and put them in the real nice enclosures, and don't tell all those other spiders that. But yeah, that's generally what you do. Peter, you're always waiting on a delivery. Every day of the week it's a delivery at the Webster household. So yeah, what's going on with Dave? Um, do we want to get into this now, or you want to wait a little while? Because once I get into this stuff, it's going to be a little bit of a lot of talking. Yeah, oh, you know what, Spidey, Vic, you're kind of in that area now that you could get a one of those nice Peter Webster gift boxes. I'm gonna move to England just for about a month so I can get one of those patented Peter Webster gift boxes, and then I'm gonna move back to the States. I got uh, I got some rare stuff coming too. I'm hoping not this week, but the following week is when I'll see them. All African species. So I'm really really looking forward to those. Uh, you know, I'm done with Asian stuff. I'm not going to get any more Asian species. Whatever Chilobrachys I have right now is going to be the end of what I have, and then my I have an orphanaceous species Panay Blue, um, and my Hottie Hottie, of course, and like I have 5 or 6 different Chilobrachys. But I'm not getting anything new Asian unless it's an O. Philippinus to replace Cheeto. That's going to be the only thing. So. I said I'll come to UK maybe, but it's going to have to be temporary, and then I'll have to figure out how I can import it back to the States. No, that's great, Vic. I'm glad you guys are starting to get settled. I know you guys have gone through some turmoil the last couple months. I feel for you, but I'm glad that things are starting to take shape anyway. So yeah, let's start. Let's just start with some of the stuff that's been happening. I mean, some people may not want to listen, so you might see people jet out of here. But I have not been myself for a while, and it's with YouTube. It's not just with YouTube. It's Facebook in general. It's time. It's energy. It's everything. Since I've been back to work since June of last year is after when I healed up the ankle. So it's going back to work took up a lot of my time that I did tons of videos at the beginning of last year. If you really look at, throughout the course of the year, I was front loaded with videos, and then it slowly got sporadic till December when I did that 12 days thing, and it's been pretty much dead since then for me, really. Um, I've had a lot of people that have affected me, that I let affect me that I shouldn't have, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get over it. I'm just not. I don't know how I'm not being able to cope with it, and trying to figure that out. Wanting to keep the desire to do this has been very, very low. Really, really low. I mean, the only reason I'm doing this live right now is because my wife and daughter are down in Pittsburgh watching Alex. Alex's college team play baseball, and Eric is in Lock Haven for track. I'm here by myself till probably 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock tonight. So I said, let's go live for a little while, and then I'm going to eat some dinner, and then I'm going to go, I got some grocery shopping to do. Um, but I just want people to know that I'm not abandoning everybody. I just don't know how much desire I have to do this anymore. Uh, I mean, I need to reduce the collection. I'm just having a hard time figuring out what to reduce, and I have stuff coming in. Um, which way I want to go is been very distressing to me. And again, I've let people in the hobby, I've let people on YouTube, I've let friends distract me and distract my mind and make me feel the best way I could put this, and this may sound stupid, but the best way I could put this is I felt like I didn't belong. And I know people aren't going to want to listen to this part, but this really, this started with the Fatal Fangs. It did. And because I voiced my opinions, maybe if I kept my mouth shut, some of the stuff that I've gone through may not have happened. I've had a lot of people over the course of the last couple months tell me a bunch of things that a bunch of people have said. And I usually I can brush it off, but it got to the point where there was 10, 12 different people saying, hey, did you hear this, or this person said that, what's going on? And I tried to brush it off and leave it alone. And with the tarantula community group, trying to keep that going and afloat. And of course, the more members we get, the more problems that we have. So we've added team members. It's been a huge thing on my shoulder. And then people that I generally can rely on and count on. I don't know, and a lot of it could be my perception. Don't get me wrong. I'm not laying the blame of this on other people, because I'm sure part of this is myself and what I see, but I can't help what I see, and I can't help what I feel. I just felt like some people have let me down, and it's really bothered me, because I really thought I could count on some of these people, and I found out that I really can't. And maybe that's reciprocated. Maybe they feel the same way. I don't know, but yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. Let me. Am I talking about videos or the hobby? No, I'm not going to leave the hobby at all, and I won't leave YouTube. It's just a matter of how much I really want to do this anymore. What I found is, over the course of the last handful of weeks, and Tracy can attest to this because we talk pretty much every day, I am tired all the time. My illnesses have been bugging me. My medication zaps a lot of power out of me. Been working a lot of overtime. We have an electrician that's going to be retiring soon, so we're going to be working 12-hour days, a couple days a week, and maybe every other or every third weekend. So, all that on my mind, and the twins turned 18, so I have no more children. I have adult kids now. All my kids are adults, so that kind of weighs in your mind. I'm going to be 50 this year. That's another thing that it may sound stupid, but it's there. I know it's there. And everyone's gone every which way and direction. And I look at people I used to talk to all the time, and I'm not saying I'm mad at Andrew or we have a problem, but you notice he's not as on as much either. And I think that I really think that Fatal Fangs really hit the two of us pretty hard, because we said stuff and people didn't like it, and that's just the way I am. And I think that's the way Andrew is too. When something bothers us, we get kind of emotional. Maybe we don't think before we say things, but we say what we feel. And I try to be genuine, and people didn't like that. And ever since that, I've had problems with some of the friends that I've had for, I don't want to say a long time, because some of them, were from last year or maybe the year before that I don't talk to anymore. And lives change, people change. That's part of what all this is going on. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that I am, Trace, because I mean, if I stopped doing this, I don't think that many people would really pay attention to it. I appreciate that there's people like you that are loyal friends and loyal to the channel and things that I do, but again, it was people that I used to be able to rely on, and it wasn't even just things that have happened at the beginning of the year or late last year. It's stuff that's happened a couple weeks ago or a month ago. You just find all this stuff. People, I've lost my faith in humanity more over the last 45 to 60 days than I had the whole entire year last year. People there are too many people that have a superiority complex, that they have to belittle people all the time. They can't just let people be people. And you get people calling people immature, or they shouldn't be in the hobby, or you should listen to me, and you're not listening to me, that makes you dumb. And I'm the greatest thing that's ever come to the tarantula hobby, and I've bred 16 different I've had 16 egg sacs from HMAX OBTs, and all these easy damn tarantulas, and people think that you're accomplished, or you think you're accomplished. And I wish people would disassociate themselves with being an accomplished keeper in the hobby from people that breed. Okay? Because people that breed feel that they're better than everybody else is, because they can put two spiders together and make an egg sac, and little baby spiders come out. I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not. I'm going to attest to that. I mean, I've had two spiders eat their egg sacs, and two spiders before open their egg sac. So, and then me screw up an egg sac. So it's not an easy thing to do, but it doesn't make people better than other people in the hobby just because you can breed freaking spiders. It just doesn't. Um, people people get in the hobby and they want to be noticed. Uh, People like to be noticed. People like to be liked. And in this hobby, people felt that the best way to do that is to get in the hobby, spend a boatload of freaking money in the beginning, buy a bunch of breeding pairs, throw them together, and then boom. Now, I've bred OBTs and I've had 3 egg sacs from this female. Well, most people can, if your female OBT is mature, odds are you can pair her pretty damn easily. One of the easiest ones to do. Pyraminia is one of the easier ones to do. Um, I don't know why. I just wish people would be themselves and not have to be better than other people. Just be you. And if you has a constant desire to put people down and put yourself on a pedestal to step over top of people, then you have a problem, a big problem. And it's probably a problem with how you feel about yourself. So people like to do that, but they don't want to look in the mirror. And that it's really gotten to me the last, I don't know, the last handful of months. I mean, I appreciate that, Pete. I really do. I will never leave the hobby. I mean, until I'm too old, or my muscles just can't do it. And that's another part of this. My MD has been working, not working real well for me. I'm up to my medication a little bit. Again, that's what makes me a little bit more tired. I lose my energy. I mean, I go to work, I come home, I sit down in bed, we eat dinner, and I'm like, oh, I want to film this and film that. And I look up there, and I'm like, I don't even want to get the roaches out to feed them. I've had days like that. More days like that than, ooh, today we got to feed these handful of spiders. Let's get them down and do it. I've had more days where I've tried to come up with every excuse in the book not to do something, and that's really been bugging me because there's a reason for it, and I'm not exactly 100% sure what that reason is totally. There's a bunch of underlying factors. Um, we had some deaths this winter, and they all happened that a lot of them happened during that time I had my colitis, where my colitis flare was roughly about 2 weeks, and my energy was gone. I didn't want to do anything. I did my best, to make sure that everybody had water and food. Food isn't as primary as water is in the winter months in your house because of all the dry heat. It just sucks the moisture out of the spiders, the air, everything. Um, so there were a couple that they were strictly my fault, but there were a handful that I had no idea. I mean, my OBT, my female OBT, I've had her for 4.5 years, 5 years roughly. Raised her from little tiny sling, grew up. I tried pairing her. She didn't take the pair, so I was thinking she's probably not 100% fully mature yet. And I moved her from her enclosure that I had her in for, I don't know, a year. And I moved her into that basketball cube. And within 3 weeks, she was dead. Just, she ate twice. And then she became very, very lethargic to the point where she would sit out on the top. I would open it up. I would spray water on the web for her. And I could put my hand in there. She wouldn't even move. Just sat there. And then, I'd find her in a corner. I'd find her in a corner. I'd find her in a corner. Then I found her dead. That stuff bothered me because I had no idea where this came from until I figured out that we treated the dog and I didn't know it. So I was petting her and rubbing her and touching this stuff. I mean, here, these are tongs that Tracy sent me. They had rubber tips on them, but I cut them off. So imagine not knowing that your dog was flea treated and the oils are still there. And I just grabbed these tongs, to grab them, just grab them. I don't know. So the next time I go, I grab a roach with these things, I put it in, and, there's transfer from this into a spider. And I lose them. I mean, we've lost more than I should have this winter. Let's just put it that way. And I really think that, the flea treatment stuff was the biggest brunt of it all. So it really got me down because I was questioning, before I realized, I was questioning, what the hell am I doing here, I got spiders that have water constantly, are sitting out in front of me, and they're dying. What's going on? So it was rough. And when I lost, 3 African species, that's when I really said, okay, Dave, you need to second guess this. You can't even keep 3 African species that are generally easy to take care of, dry, spray them every once in a while as a sling. I don't like to keep my African species on damp substrate. I just don't feel that they prosper on it. So I will spray their webbing down once maybe twice a week, and that's where they get their moisture content or from their food. But I was really second guessing myself, and then I felt bad because all this was happening. All the crap that was going on in the tarantula community. It was like we hit a wall where every day something was going on. Someone was being an ass. Talking, absolutely rude to somebody. Being either sexist or racist or whatever it may be. That you're trying to monitor this all the time, and then trying to start the little, the arachnids group. I don't know who all is in that. It's just a small group right now. I don't even remember the name of it, to be honest with you. Tracy would know. She could type it out. But for those of you that aren't in it, if you want, it's for us as creators and fans alike, that you can kind of talk to. We only have like 50 some people. I haven't advertised it at all, and I don't know that anybody has either on their channels. I mean, I asked people. I'd hope that they would do it, but I didn't expect anybody to do it. Yeah. So there's been a lot going on, and then it's there's certain people that I don't mind when they message me every day. I mean, Tracy, I don't mind. Don't So please don't take this the wrong way. But there are some people that started to drive me crazy because it was a constant want. What are we going to do about this? Or questions that I've asked or answered the same person that they ask me a week later. That drives me crazy. Okay, you can ask me any question. Send me a message. Ask me any question. What do you think is the easy? We'll go with what Brandon said. What's the best beginner species? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, this is what I think. And then a week later, I get the same exact message from the same exact person, and I'm like, did you read anything that I said before? Did you forget what's going on? And I generally will just re-answer. But the last handful of weeks, it's really been starting to drive me crazy. The amount of messages that I get on a daily basis. And it's, again, people are sending me a message saying, hey, how are you doing? I know that those people care, and they just generally really want to know what's going on. But hey, when are you coming back? Hey, when's the next podcast? Hey, and again, I know that's because people care, but I don't know what to say. You know, all I could say is I don't know. I'm not really up to it. I don't feel good. I don't, other things are going on. I honestly, with all the stuff that Sophie's done, Rachel sends me the links. I have not watched a video on YouTube other than some sports recaps from the Yankees or something. That's really it, and that's at work. Well, here's the highlights from the game. Let's watch it real quick. 3 minutes, boom, and that's really it. I haven't really watched anything. I know that I put YouTube on the other day, and it just started playing on its own. And I was out talking to my wife, came back in, and there were, I don't even know what played, to be honest with you. So that's where I'm at, and it's not like, people are like, oh well, you need to be cheered up, or take some time off, and I know people have been patient with me, but I just don't know that I'm ever going to have that same drive that I used to have. This may be, hey, we're getting some new stuff in. We'll do some videos. I hate doing unboxing videos. Pete loves doing them. I don't like doing them because of my limited area where I film. It's not conducive to me. So it's basically, here's the vials that I got in. Here's the enclosure they're going in. Let's put them in, and then boom, we'll do an update video of them. I like doing update videos. My problem is that you get into this situation where I'm talking, and an update video that probably could take 10 minutes takes 30 minutes, and then it's, well, now I need to cut stuff out of it. And then, you know what, I got to that point where I said, I don't even want to edit anything. I don't want to do anything. I just deleted it. I deleted some footage from last week that I did. I deleted footage from a couple weeks that I did. I did a, explaining what's going on with me video. I deleted that. I just haven't had any desire to do it. And I mean, honestly, sitting here right now, I don't have desire to do a film. I don't have desire to video anything. I don't have time to do research. I don't have time to document anything. I don't have time to look anything up. Things I'm falling behind on. I have an article that I need to write for the Tarantula magazine, the online magazine, about the care, upkeep, personal experience about, Tarantula marinus. I have all the notes. I just haven't started putting it together, and I think I need to do that by the end of next week. So I keep taking on tasks, and then I realize I probably shouldn't have, because I don't have the time to do it. But I have a hard time saying no to people, when people ask me for things, because that's what I felt that's what made me a little different than a lot of people, is the approachability, and I'm just a normal everyday guy. And I think people feel that way. I don't think a lot of people look at me as, this almighty knowledgeable, you know, star like some of the other YouTube people are. I don't think that I would go to an expo and I'd have people line up to see me, or recognize me at, when I go to Buffalo on the 19th. I don't think there's anybody there that's gonna say, "Hey, that's Dave from Eeriearachnids. We got to go talk to him." Um, I'm not. That's not me, and I would feel completely uncomfortable doing that because it's not what I want. And again, the whole YouTube thing started with the fatal fangs, and the trials and tribulations that Andy and I went through with that were painful. For all of you UK people over there, that's kind of where we got the brunt of our crap from, really. And it was all brought back from a few people from the UK said, "Hey, these people are all saying all this crap about you," off to the side. And again, I said, well, that's their opinion. They can say what they want. And then when it became more and more and more, that's when I'm like, okay, I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. So, that's where it started. And then it trickled down into, again, a couple friends. And, some of you know exactly what happened, and most of you don't. I don't really go into details about who, what, where, and when. But again, I just felt like some people that I don't want to say that I can't say I feel like people owed me anything, because I don't do this for people to owe me favors. But when you know that you spent a lot of time and you've gone onto your way, and you've talked people off a ledge about certain things in the hobby, and situations, and what do I do here, what about this, and then when I ask for one simple thing, and I don't get that one simple thing in return, that really bothered me, and it still bothers me right now. And then then it's an out of spite thing, and I don't know. So all this stuff is compiled, okay? So it's all, think of it as stacking rocks, and put something underneath that rock that can lift the first rock, and maybe even lift the second or third or fourth or fifth rock that you put on there. Eventually, you keep stacking rocks, that thing is not going to be able to lift them anymore, and that's where I'm at right now. I have too many things that are on top of me that I can't get off of me, so I have to eliminate things one at a time. I got to do this article. I want to get that done. I have some medical stuff I need to do, and I want to get that done. We got to get top plate put in. The teeth got to go. So it's been something I've wanted to do for a little while and haven't been able to, because we did Haley's braces, and now we have time, we have the money to do it. Now it's just a matter of going and doing it. Simple things that I need that one thing at a time. I need to remove one rock at a time. But I can't continually have people put more rocks on top of me. And that's where I was this last 5 weeks. There's been a handful of people that were stacking rocks to the point where I'm like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. Just don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm going to start scrolling your messages now that I'm done with this whole thing, and answer some questions as we go here. Ooh, Tuesday. I'm not 50 till July, so at least I know that you're older than I am, Peter. But happy birthday early, in case I don't get a notification on my phone. Well, you know what, Vic? I don't think a lot of them were actually really friendships, as more as acquaintances. So you're all okay. You put a bunch of those people that started the Fatal Fangs and people that were working together on the transfer of the YouTube community. Put them all together in a room. Okay, not everyone's going to like each other, but you're going to talk because you're there. Well, when somebody walks away, then you can talk. We all do it. I'm just as guilty as everybody else is. We all do it. Okay. But when you start hearing 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 people saying stuff that are kind of similar, is it that they're just agreeing with each other because, or is that really what they think of you? So that bothered me. So yeah, but I'm as genuine as you can be. I mean, you want to ask me a question in private, I'll tell you anything you want me to tell you. Well, no, I'm not going to say I tell you anything you want me to tell you. You ask me a question, you want the God's honest truth, I'm going to give you the God's honest truth, because that's the kind of friend that I am. I'm not going to bullshit anybody. If I think that you're doing something that may be detrimental to what work you're doing, or, you know, I will give you advice. You don't have to take it, but it's just the way that I'm seeing things. So I will put that out there, and you know, I try to put it out there so you can see, hey, let's look at it this way. But people say, oh, you know, he's freaking crazy. He has no idea. He just, this is what I got. I got a bunch of people telling me that I want to be in charge of the tarantula hobby itself, and how YouTube tarantula channels work. That's farthest from the truth, because I really don't give a shit. You know, I really don't care what other people do for the most part. But when it starts to, you know, when they're doing things that they said they never would, because now they just need to have people come and watch things, that kind of bothered me. I'm glad that I, you know, that I could help in the beginning, Pete. I think you probably fine. You don't need me anymore, but yeah, Philippines. Yeah, you know what? I don't get a lot of people from the Philippines on my channel, at least that I don't know of. Um, People are just weird anymore. People just believe that they're entitled to whatever they want. I'm scanning or scrolling here, so bear with me. I think I'm at 3:43, so I'm about 10, 12 minutes behind here on. Um, no, it's good. It was good seeing you, Peter. If you're still here, but that was 11 minutes ago. You said you were. Yeah, backs suck. I hope it straightens out. Arachnid YouTube creators, supporters, and fans. That's it. That's the. I mean, I started it before and it was named something different, but I decided that, you know, adding people that actually watch the videos would probably be a good idea, because, you know, as long as we keep it clean and we're not really, you know, downgrading people. You know, I don't want people coming on saying, I can't stand blah 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 because he keeps like crap, and or she keeps like crap, or this person doesn't know anything. That's not what I want. I want people to come in and have fun and be constructive, and, you know, ask questions. There's a ton of, trust me. There's probably 100 times, 200 times as many channels right now that are tarantula channels, and people that are starting them every day right now, than there was a year ago at this time. And a year ago at this time, there was probably 200 channels less than what it was a year before that. You know, when I started back in January of 17. There weren't many channels. I mean, they were out there. Don't get me wrong. You could do tarantula searches, but a lot of them were channels that were not filming much. So it was just, you know, old archived videos. But, you know, the people that you look forward to seeing was John 3800. He was still doing his monthly feeding videos, and Marilyn Moore, and Dave Scott, and Tom Moran. You know, tarantula guy. You know, Rob Carmen had left already at that point. You know, when things really start to get crazy here. So those are the ones that really put out videos consistently, and you see now that you're not seeing that anymore from any of them. I mean, I think John's tried to do a little bit more here or there, but I don't think he's kept up. You know, with him working full time as a teacher and his side business, and then, you know, Tom is a teacher. He's busy, and the time. The thing with him is that there are so many people that are pulling on his time. You know, people emailing him questions. I don't envy Tom at all, one bit. Because I know the amount of messages that I just get in a day's time. I can't imagine the amount of messages that he's getting. And, you know, you get 40, 50, 60 emails a day, and 20 of them are the same question. You know, and it gets hard to say the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, we all as creators want our channels to grow and be, not, I don't even want to say popular, but just continue to grow, you know, where people are coming to see you and people are liking you. I mean, I stopped getting dislikes for, you know, I was getting them for a while there, and that's, and I kind of have a feeling of how all that stuff went about, because other channels were getting it at the same time. But, you know, and I guess we could, I guess I should go back a little bit, actually, because the Fatal Fangs isn't really the start of all this. The start of all this stuff is when the big blow up happened with that one Tinley show with Edward and some of the other people that were involved there. Um, that's really where the beginning of this started. And even farther back, when beginner Burrow and I had our little disagreement about common names, it kind of started there, and it just got more and more and more and more. So I don't want to get up all back into all that crap again. So let's just get to the questions and comments here. Yeah, I can honestly tell you right now that 90% of the people that are in tarantula groups are introverted people. And they, without social media, they would just live a very, very simple, quiet life. Not a lot of friends, not going out a lot. Trust me, because I would be one of those people. I am one of those people. The only reason I go out a lot is because it's with the kids, sporting events or whatever. They're going to be going to college, and Alex only has one more year left. We'll be watching Eric run for the next 4 years, but Haley's done with sports now. When softball's over here in a month, she's done. There's no more sports for her. So some of the call on our time is going to lessen, and we're going to get to the point where Lynn and I it's just going to be her and I. We're not going to know what to do. But the odds of us going places are nil to none, because we both have a lot of injuries. Our bodies are breaking down, and it's sometimes we sit in a chair and we just don't want to get back up because it hurts too much. Hello, Rachel. I'm a little behind schedule by looks like 11 minutes. Hello, Alien. INC. I have the outline done, Trace. That's all I really have. So I need to fill in. My problem is paragraphing it right. I don't want to go out of order, and I don't want to start talking about something that should be talked about down there. That's always been a huge problem of mine when writing stuff. So I'm going to write it, and she's going to edit it anyway. So I don't, with this one, I don't think you really need to worry about it. I just got to follow my outline, and then, I gave her full permission to edit, add, delete, whatever she needs to do. So it's her magazine, so. I don't even want to know what peppers for tea. Are you talking like peppers? Real peppers? The ones you grow, the green ones, the red ones, yellow ones, you put that in tea? Or is pepper something completely different over there than it is over here? Probably going to be like sugar, right? You take your time, with the OBTs. They're really not as hard as everybody makes them out to be. Just relax, stay calm. If they start going into a threat posture, just leave them be. Let them go. Just leave them alone. Don't try to rush them. That's when they run and leave. So if they, you're going to get them, if they get crazy and they're full up in the air at that, I'm trying to figure what the degree would be, because that would be 90. They're pretty much 90. Sometimes they get a little bit back, right? If they get on their back, just put them back. Try a different day. Don't get crazy. Put a catch cup inside their enclosure and try to maneuver them in there with, something on top. I do it like that all the time. Again, hold on, I'll show you. So I have all kinds of things. You see the holes? Okay, so I put this over an enclosure, and I can put the catch cup in, and I can maneuver with different holes where I want it to go. I have these for, different sizes, so that I can put this over their old enclosure and get them up into a catch cup, and then do the same thing in reverse. This that's got even more holes. I have them set up for different size enclosures. I have a couple that are bigger, 12 by 12 by 12, to fit the bigger enclosures. That's generally what I do. I put those over top. I put a catch cup inside. If I have to take out decorations prior, usually the spiders won't go unless they're in them. A lot of times you'll get some tarantulas that'll web themselves like into a piece of cork bark. Just pick the cork bark up with the spider in it and stick it in the next enclosure. Just do it real quick, Just be careful you don't drop spider out of there. That would be bad. Yeah, well, yeah, I know, Rach. The problem is that I don't even know what that is right now. you know, you again, we had five spiders come in the other day. I was all looking forward to them, and two of them were DOA. So we're trying to get that situated. And one I was really looking forward to getting. The other was, well, yeah, both of them really. I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't looking forward to either one of them. Both of them. Um, but yeah, so that that kind of got me down again, and I wanted to get to May 19th. As much as I hate wishing ahead in time, because when I wish, when you wish for it to be a certain day, you're wishing your life away, really, and you're wishing, you're gonna. Today's the 27th of April, right? So if I could say, oh, I wish it was May 19th, I'm wishing away everything in between, because you don't know what every day is going to bring for you. Although most of my days lately have been bad. Now, again, if you remember correctly, most of you don't. Maybe you don't know. I don't know. Some of you do. Some of you don't. This year started on January 1st with my grandmother dying on January 1st. So that's how the year has gone. Really, our cat Ted. We had him 14 years. He was on a construction site that I was on down in Meadville, which is about 40 minutes away from here. He had crawled up into the axle of the guy that I was driving with in his minivan. So I grabbed him, I pulled him out, and I put him off the side because he was just a little kitten, and he crawled right back in there. So I was like, I can't leave him here, and I'm afraid he's gonna crawl back up there and trying to move. So I took him home with me, and we've had him 14 years. Well, that was about a month ago. He started acting a little bit off. You could tell things weren't. He was on his way. He was on his way out. Started losing a lot of weight. He was generally a nice thick cat, not fat, but he was, he's a solid cat. Probably 8 pounds, I would think. And then a handful of days there, but he died about, not on Friday, right? Thursday of last week. Alex was in Meadville, or in up here at Barron. Not this past week, the week before. So he's been dead for a little over a week. But I expected him to die on one day, and he didn't, and the next day is when he did. And we come home and we found him that way. It's the first time I ever, other than spiders, the first time I ever had a pet in 50 years that has actually died at home like that. And we felt bad. Don't get me. He was a great cat. He was part of the family. He was part of everybody's lives. But I don't think he really suffered. But I think he was in renal failure. And it was at that point where there was nothing a vet really could do. We just tried to make him as comfortable as possible here. And we had given him, actually, that following Monday was the cutoff day. I think it was. Maybe it was Saturday. I think it was Saturday was our cutoff day. So that if he wasn't any better or he hadn't died on Saturday, then we were going to take him to have him put down. And he did us the favor of not having to do that. But yeah, so we had my grandmother die, my cat die. We had the problems with the spiders. I haven't been feeling great. The colitis and just everything. It's just on and on and on and on. It hasn't let up at all. This year has not let up. Period. And then my problems with a handful of people that just magnified and blew up, and people try to make me feel guilty for the way that I feel about things, and I'm not feeling guilty anymore. Now people don't want to listen to that. People, they probably don't. Like, I don't even know why you're talking about this, because I'm sure I'll get a message later on about it. But how you doing, Jennifer? I am way behind here. I see you came in at 3:53. It's 4:07, so that's where I'm at right now. A little bit behind. Well, I try, Rach. I try to give, again, most of what I'm giving everybody is just personal experience, or, dealing with people for a long time that have the experience too. I'm not a huge arboreal guy, so, aviculary care I could give you, and I can give you ideas of problems that they've had because I've run into some of these problems. But most of the stuff that, I see is just generalized, like with your avic that's losing its grip. After a while, when it can't grip anymore, that's when you need to put in some enclosure. I think we got that straightened out. I hope it's doing better anyway. But yeah, I had one of my marinades the other day, Viculary marinade, started to curl. I was like, okay, where it was at, it was in a place where water was really hard to get to because of the webbing. So I pulled everything out. Literally, I pulled everything out of its enclosure except for the dirt, and I sprayed the crap out of the enclosure, and I put the lid on, I put it next to heat, and when I came home, it was crawling all over the place, you know. So sometimes you catch them in time, sometimes you don't, and sometimes you could do your best to bring them back, and it's just too late, and there's just nothing to do. And you know what? And I'm going to say this, people are going to tell me that I'm wrong because I've had people, not all these spiders are supposed to live. I don't care if we're giving them a better chance because they're out of captivity and they don't have the predation and they don't have the other stuff. Yes, we are giving them a better chance to live, but there are some that just are not supposed to live. It's just like it is with humans. If we can't figure out why, you know, how does a 2-month-old baby just die? You know, how and why? What's the reason? We don't know, right? So how can we feel any differently about this stuff? So things happen, and you know, people all say, oh, there's always a reason. There's always a reason for it. Well, you know what? How do we know what the reason is? Everybody wants to blame it on dehydration all the time. Dehydration all the time. Spiders got dehydration, or it came in contact with some type of pesticide or chemicals. But no one can prove that one way or another. And, you know, people get down on people all the time. You know, a poor young girl is trying to just do her thing, and you know, in her mid-20s, early 20s, I don't know. She just wants to collect spiders, and she wants people to like them. She wants people to like her, and her way of viewing things is a little bit different than others. And then you've got a whole group of people that just hammer her because she's had some spiders die. Now, you know, sometimes the husbandry's not pinpoint, but I don't care what anybody says. People continually try to tell me that, oh, I've never had a spider die. Bullshit. I'm telling you that right now. I don't believe you at all. And if you haven't, it's because you're new and you only have a few. When you start getting 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 spiders, and you're trying to tell me that you haven't had spiders die, I just can't believe it. I just honestly can't believe it. So again, this stuff has been bugging me, and people make groups just to pick on people. You know, well, I'm going to make a group to pick on this person because I'm not allowed to pick on her over here, so I'm going to do it over here. Why? It's just dumb. It's childish, really. I mean, you're telling everybody that this person should not be a keeper in the hobby because they've lost some spiders. Again, some of them probably were this person's fault, some of them not. But who's worse for the wear? The person that has the knowledge and doesn't try to help her be a better keeper? Or that same person that decides, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to make my own group just so all my little friends that like me can pick on somebody else? Because, hey, you know what? There's this thing called Messenger. You can send somebody a message and tell them exactly how you feel. They can choose to either return that message or not turn that message. But at least, this is what I'm saying. If you have a problem with somebody, grow a little bit of balls. Even you females, grow a little bit of balls and send them a message. Don't go someplace else and say, oh, well, I'm going to make this little group over here so I can pick on them because those people over there said I can't do it. Childish. Very childish. And I'm disappointed with the people that are doing it, really. It's disappointing. Not that I really care, and they don't care about me, but it's just ridiculous. They're acting like little teenagers in high school that, oh my God, you know, I like that girl, but this boy started liking her too, so I don't like that guy now. You know, it's just stupid crap. It's hard, Tracy, though. I mean, when you got 11,000 people in your group, it is hard to really draw a hard line on what's respectful and what's not respectful, because you have to read in tone. You have to try and read in tone. Sometimes that's, you know, lost in translation or lost in what I call black and white space, because I could type something and I can send it to a group and people can misconstrue it, and I think a lot of that happened with the Fatal Fang stuff. What I wrote and what Andy wrote, I think, was taken a different way than what we actually meant some of the things, because we really were just trying to help, but people looked at it as we were attacking them, and, you know, the whole sacred Fatal Fangs thing. So, yeah, it's hard. It really is hard to monitor that many people and try to keep all your rules and regulations going. I mean, here's a simple one. We're a tarantula and true spider group, the tarantula community. Okay, it's pretty cut and dry, and that's because the people that run it, the people that are in it, the vast majority of our experience is with spiders and tarantulas, so we know about them. Can I get by with centipedes? I'm not really. I'm not all that great with centipedes. I've only kept two, and neither one of them survived, so that's not happening again. Scorpions, yeah, we can get by, but we don't have the knowledge that we need to be in that group. So one of our rules is to stay on focus. Our post should be on focus, which means it has to be tarantula or spider related. You know how many posts a day that we delete because someone will type this in? Okay, explain to me. I'd love to hear anybody explain to me how they think that this is actually legitimate. I know this is not a tarantula, but my scorpion the other day did this, and I was hoping somebody here could help me. Or I know this is not spider related, but my mini bike lost a spoke, and I don't know what to do. These are the kind of posts that you get, and you're like, what in God's name? What I feel is that the people that say, I know this is not tarantula related, or I know this is not spider related, or if this is not acceptable, admin, please remove it. You know how much time and effort we have to do that? And it only takes 2 seconds for when you join to go to the group of rules, and there's 10 rules. Pretty damn easy. So the second rule is keep on focus, spider related. We get scorpions, centipedes, rats, cars, guns, you name it. This stuff has showed up on our group, and generally people are saying, I know this is probably not acceptable, or I actually know it's not acceptable, but I'm going to put it on hoping that I get my answer before an administrator or moderator finds it and deletes it. And that's just saying, screw you, I'm going to do whatever I want. And that's what we live in today. And you know what? I mean, I was a young kid. I'm sure that my parents probably said the same thing when they were about my age, about, my generation, I guess. So it's each generation is set in their ways, and the next generation comes up and they do things differently, or they were raised differently because the generation that raised them didn't want to be raised the same way they were. Trickle down. Oh, Vic, there are thousands of channels. Trust me. There are channels that I can't tell you how many channels. If you actually just start typing in tarantulas, it's specific things, or again, what's hard is that when you type in, just say, let's say you type in tarantula feeding video, when you get that thing, you'll get the most popular, the most watched ones, or the ones that YouTube really wants you to see. But if you keep scrolling to the right, or actually to the left, right? You gotta scroll to the left, and you could go for an hour and still be scrolling feeding videos. Have channels you've never even heard of. So you click on one of them, they're new within the last month, 2 months. They have 3 or 4 videos. There are tons of channels that way right now. Tons of them. It's oversaturated. And I'll tell you right now that the tarantula YouTube, pet YouTube, every other thing with YouTube is completely oversaturated. I know a lot of people do it because they enjoy it and they just love it and they put their stuff out there. But there are a lot of people that are doing it as a business and they want to make money that way. That's their income. I don't fault those people for that, because there's people making a ton of money on YouTube doing stupid stuff. So, but yes, it is oversaturated right now. It's oversaturated, and people cannot be genuine, not genuine, original. Let's put it that way. People can be genuine. It's original. There's no originality left. What can you do that another channel that does tarantulas hasn't done yet? Maybe open a spider that no one else has seen before, or maybe you could be the first one to have this tarantula on YouTube, so you can get that moniker real quick. But again, this all depends on YouTube. You have to go back to that and realize that YouTube has an algorithm, and people have figured out how to manipulate that algorithm. And if you can find the person that's already figured out that algorithm, hitch on to that person or people or handfuls of people, then you become that person too. And that's where we're at. I mean, I don't know what I would do with 10,000, 20,000 subscribers. I see what people that have them have to go through it. Tom Moran specifically. I don't know that I could handle it. I would probably have a nervous breakdown. I've never ever said that in my life, that I've ever believed that I would ever have a nervous breakdown about anything. But I think I would with that. I don't think that I could handle it. Paranormal, that's everybody, I mean, you're saying that you should add, I'm adding a bunch of stuff because I've already ordered it. and one of my friends or one of the administrators needed to cut down a little bit, and he had a spider that I've been trying to, I said if it pops up for a decent price, I would grab one. So I got a Gramastola Action coming in. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's not anything that I really wanted, but I know he needed to thin down. So do I, but that is one of those ones that I really, was up there on that list that if it comes about, we're going to get it. If it's not that big of a deal. So we do have that one coming in. But I mean, I've had so many spiders molt, and ones that for some odd reason just are not eating. I don't know what it is. Both my Semmelpass pulkers, they're on hunger strikes for some odd reason. I don't know if it's because it was cooler and they're just not interested in eating. My dubia colony has gone through I mean, there's probably more of them than the red runners now. I need to order more red runners, but I have tons of little baby red runners. All that stuff's going great, and I'm having little issues of things. I wanted to do that OBT experiment. Now I don't even want to do it anymore. It's just that was one of those things that I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm really really going to do it. And then when I start doing it, things got in the way, time got lost, and once you start losing time and you don't get the stuff done, then it goes by the wayside. So we're just going to try and raise those three up, get them to a little bit bigger size, and then we're going to figure out something different to do with them. That's all you can do, Jennifer, is just be true to yourself. And I mean, I think you said that and we talked about that really when you posted that post on Tarantula Community Group. And I said the same thing, right? I said, there's so many groups out, or so many channels out there, it's hard to be original anymore. And that passion and drive's got to be there. If that passion and drive is not there, it's work, and nobody wants to work. Work is, most people don't want to work, and unless your job is, I guess athletes, or they love work because they're playing a game and getting paid for it. But work. Most people would rather just have money come to them while they're sitting at home instead of going out and earning it. I would, but yeah. So trying to get to that point where you're like, yeah, I really want to do this again. I look at like Marilyn Moore. She was really doing a lot of videos, and her videos are far and few between anymore. And it's health issues with her, or the little guy, or whatever it may be. Life gets in the way. The problem is when you create a following, that people start to get disappointed, and then they get demanding, and they're like, what is going on? Why aren't you doing videos anymore? Don't you like us anymore? What, are you still in the hobby? What's going on? And that's where I really started getting crazy, is because people were asking me this constantly, and I didn't have an answer for them. I couldn't really give them an honest answer because I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on, and why I had no desire to film. I don't know. You figure I take an antidepressant only to go to sleep at night, though. It wasn't prescribed to me as an antidepressant. It was prescribed to me as a sleeping pill. And that's what they found. It's actually a better sleeping pill than it is an antidepressant. So I'm on that, and so you would think, oh, there's no way that you can go through this, but I have. I've been in a fog all year. Amy and I, at the end of 2018, we said we're going to kick 2019's ass, and trust me, right now, her and I both, there's been so much stuff that's gone on with her, and her personal life in the tarantula community, and she's on the ropes, and I'm on the other end on the ropes too. We're just trying to figure out a way to fight back and stand back up again. So it's, I don't know. What bothered me, I think, was a few weeks ago. That last baboon video that I did, the baboon feeding video that I did, it was well received. It wasn't great. I don't get a ton of views. If I get 400 views in 4 or 5 weeks time, then I'm pretty thrilled. But generally it's 175 to 200 in a month. It's not a ton of things, and it doesn't matter what feeding video I do. It could be the best feeding video I've ever done, and the views are pretty much the same. But I did the African one. It turned out really good, and they eat a little bit more frequently. So I was like, I'm gonna do another one, and most of them they're all buried, pretty much all of them. The only things I can get out is the Sanderi, my Serratia species. Let's put it that way. They will come out to grab something. The rest of them, it's like they're pulling things in from underneath their web. I was getting crap footage. I was getting pissed off. To be honest with you, I was getting pissed off, and I said, I'm done. I'm not even going to film anymore. And then the next 10 came out, and they're walking around, and oh, it's just I was literally ticked off. And I'm finding that it's much easier to film, and this is the God's honest truth. If you want to film good feeding videos, no matter what the species are, don't set them up right. Set them up so people can see them. That's how you get people to view your videos. They need to see the spider. They need to see close-ups of the spider hitting. They need close-ups of the spider, doing the fang action, doing the happy dance, whatever it may be. Don't keep them right. Don't give them enough substrate to dig. Make them sit out there. Your African species, don't give them a lot of substrate. Just give them some stuff to web around. Then they'll come out because they have no choice. Your Asian species, God forbid, don't give them enough substrate to dig in, and you'll never see them. So how do you combat that? You just give them a lot less. Then you get good shots on film. I can't do that. I can't do that to these guys. I just can't do it. So the best way to do that as a keeper is to get more larger Central American, North American, and South American spiders. Ground Stola, Fontpelma, Brachypelma, Sericopelma, Lasiodora, Nandus, things like that are generally out more. But then you have to decide, is that really the way I want to keep? Do I want to keep this kind of spiders, or do I really just want to keep these and say, screw Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube? I want to keep my African species, and if I can't film them because they're never out, I really don't care. I don't need to put out videos. I don't need to do this. So it's a matter of trying to get that, trying to find the fine line. I haven't found the fine line yet. I really haven't found the fine line yet. Okay, I'm going to get back here. Let's see, it's 4:26 and I'm on 4:04. Oh, yeah, it sucks when you lose pets. It really does. But, it happens. It's part of life. And we knew, this wasn't a surprise. 14 years is a decent amount of time for a cat. He's an outdoor cat, so. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm missing some people. Are spider couple high. I'm reading comments and I can't correlate to stuff that I said. So if I don't answer something that you wrote before, it's because I'm not exactly quite sure what you're. Yeah, Gandalf. There are a ton of judgmental people in the world, unfortunately, and there's way more now than there ever used to be because of social media. Anybody could sit behind a keyboard and type whatever they want to, but will all these people actually say, even though they say that, they would say that to the person in their face? Trust me, these people that have said this stuff about this one person have been in the same room as this person and didn't say anything to her. So they just like to have, their fun. They think it's fun, and if that's what they call fun, if that's what gets them off, then hey, you know what? I just think it's childish and stupid. We added 4 new moderators there, Goldie, over the last couple weeks, 3 weeks. We added 4 to help police, to really try to find the things that the group is already there were missing. Because again, I was going through the phase. Amy changed shifts, so she's working at night. Allie and Jared, were in the midst of imports and Austin Spears, that's who it was. Damn it. See, I knew his name would come to me. That's who I'm getting the African species coming in from. Anyway, I'm proud of myself when it actually pops back into my head. Yeah, so, those two have been, crazy with the imports. You had all the stuff with the TKC, the Translate Coalition, Keepers Coalition. That stuff was all happening at the same time. Amy's trying to raise enough money to save that tract of land in Sri Lanka, to save all those species that are there that are only right there in that little tract of land. At least for now, they've not been discovered anyplace else other than that little area. And she's falling well far short her goal. And I really think that, with 10,000 people in our group, and I know that, I think if people would have been able just to donate $1, I think more people would have done it. But the minimum was $5 with a GoFundMe. That's the least amount you can give. Um, it's just sad that the things that we care about, really, honestly, as people, and Tom Patterson, I'm going to use part of what he said. I can't remember exactly his exact words, but it was like the whole. Let's just start from the beginning, okay? USPS shipping in the United States is illegal. People try to find loopholes. Okay, people just do it anyway because who cares? You know, people. The Brazil stuff came up, or the T. Caledonia. People went freaking haywire. Then the Brazil ban came up. People are going haywire. Whether it's, this is what's going to happen or this isn't what's going to happen. Um, People went crazy. They cared so much. They wanted to burn Brazil down. Let's just blow Brazil off the map. Who cares about Brazil? We can't let them dictate what we do here in the United States. Well, I mean, with their animals, we kind of can, right? But so you had that, and then you had some other things, imports, and what a whole group of Lasiodora paribon, Canthoscurria geniculata were confiscated in Seattle, up there, I think, over there in Washington, and then were put into a zoo as temporary homes because we weren't supposed to bring them in. People don't want to believe it because, God forbid, you actually show people proof of things, they don't want to believe it. That all this stuff, the TKC trying to save this land for these spiders and build a research facility there to help train other people, to be able to identify spiders and to help conserve an area. People don't care. But Facebook decides that we're going to start pushing the rule that you are not allowed to sell live animals in your Facebook groups anymore, and people are going absolutely apeshit. They're going insane. People are jumping out of Facebook and they're starting going to this MeWe thing. And just for the record, if anybody else sends me hey, you want to join MeWe? I'm gonna cancel you out as messenger. I'm getting 20 freaking MeWe things. I'm not joining it. I don't want to join it. This is enough crap for me. But honestly, think about that. You can have a choice of following Facebook's rules, okay? And their rules are their rules. We're using their platform. It's not like we own it. They don't want people to sell spiders. Whatever it may be, spiders, dogs, cats, anything. They don't want people selling them. Is it financially? Because they want to push the marketplace, because I think through the marketplace, if you sign up as a marketplace, they're getting advertising on the marketplace, but they're not really getting advertising in the groups. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sure that there's monetary issues that go along with it. People are going crazy. There have probably been about 30 different ideas on how we can skirt the system on our group, instead of just saying, what's the big deal? How many spider sales posts do we get on that group a month? 6, 7, maybe. And people are like, oh God, it's time to go back to this, or it's time to go here, or it's time to leave Facebook. You know what? How about doing something that's a little bit more worthy? Donate $5 to this fund. And then you actually are making a difference instead of whining about something. That's what people are doing. That's what everyone's doing. Okay, I'm at 4:16. Rachel says she's going to eat. She'll be right back. And I'm probably, next time I scroll down, she's probably already done eating. Oh. Yes, there's nothing wrong with loving your hobby and your hobby being your hobby unless you're absolutely doing something that is out of the ordinary, that is detrimental to the health and welfare of your spiders. Spiders have been around 300 million years. People, for some odd reason, forget that. 300 million years. Do you think that they know what they're doing? I believe they do. I mean, this glare, is this glare bad on my glasses here? I mean, I don't know. Because it really doesn't make a difference what I'm looking like, right? Just listening. Yeah, and Gandalf, the thing that I'm seeing, okay, and This is what's happening is that people start a channel and they start it with tarantulas and they're doing tarantulas and they want to get more content, so they add stuff to their channel. And then those videos don't get watched as much because people that started out with you were tarantula people. If you start out doing different things consistently, then it's okay. But I found that people that have been strictly spider channels, you could ask some of them. I mean, go talk to Kat. I'm sure if you asked her, in all God's honest, she'll tell you that her snake videos, her hamster or whatever she's got, her scorpion videos get far less views than her tarantula stuff, because that's what people correlated her with, and they really don't care about all other stuff. It's the people that are real loyal to her or to whatever other channel it is out there that will consistently watch whatever that person puts out. I mean, I know that I could probably put out videos on Waldemar here, one of the oldest, amusement parks in the United States. I could probably take my camera down and film a bunch of stuff, and I can almost guarantee that Tracy would watch it, because she's loyal to the channel and she's loyal to me. It doesn't matter what I put out, they're going to watch it. She's going to watch it. There's other people that watch it. Shani always watches my stuff. Deb McClure always watches my stuff. I know people that consistently watch my stuff, and it wouldn't make a difference what I put out there, because they've I don't want to say attached, because that's not the right word. They've bonded, maybe is the right word. I'm not really quite sure, or relate to me or to the channel more than they do somebody else, maybe. And maybe it's just my personality jives with their personality more. Who knows what it is? But yeah, I've seen a lot of people that have, started spider channels and have tried to branch off to other stuff and be less successful with that other stuff. If it's helping you calm your mind, Jennifer, then keep doing it. When it becomes a point where you're always second guessing yourself and you're wondering if what you're doing is okay, or why isn't this video, if you're constantly worrying about views and stuff like that, that's when it becomes bad. You know how often I check my numbers on YouTube anymore? In fact, I haven't checked to see what my subscriber numbers are in probably 2.5 weeks. What I get is I'll get a notification if somebody sends me a message. I will go to my not the YouTube. I won't go to YouTube and answer that question. I'll go to my YouTube page manager app or whatever it is. I will go there and I will answer the questions, because I can pull them all up that are there. I don't have to go video by video by video. So yeah, that's what I couldn't even tell you where I'm at, really, honestly. I don't know if I've even hit 2,200 yet. I don't know if I've lost subs. I honestly have no idea. No, there's people that do. Spider couple. There's tons of people that collect tarantulas, thinking they're going to flip them and make money off of them. And when they don't, they're surprised. It's funny. Again, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you probably could have made money. Now there's too many people that do it. There's just the market is saturated with people that breed and people that wholesale, and the vendors. There's some big top vendors that are consistently going to make money because of the reputation and the name. That's just the way it's going to be, and that's the way it's going to be for a while, until those people say, I don't want to do this anymore. So yeah, there are still people that think that they can make money off this, and they're really not. Yeah, and I know that she went through some health stuff, Vic. I'm not really quite sure. I hate to bug people. So I mean, I'd asked her once. I think I sent her a message to say, hey, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while, and she's like, oh, hopefully I'm gonna get back to doing some stuff soon. But that was a long time ago, months and months and months ago. So yeah, she'll surprise you and pop a video up there, and then you won't see her again for a couple months. I mean, we used to see her at least. She'd at least do her feeding video, and then she'd do an update feeding video, and just every now and then, maybe 2 to 3 videos a month that you would see out of her. But now it's like one every 2 or 3 months. Yeah, it is, Vic. The balance is tough. I mean, right now I'm feeling okay. I have a little back twinge right now, but sitting for as long as I've been sitting already, I'm getting, you get the cramps in your legs. So it's because your muscles have been in a certain position for so long. So with the MD, what happens is they get there, and then when you want them to move to the next, what they need to do next, they don't even get the signal. They're like, we're stuck right here, or they're not sending the signal back to the brain saying, this is where I'm at. What do I do next? That's what this is. It's a disconnect. And the biggest thing that I get, my biggest symptoms are, um, is the cramping, where the muscles, like here especially, right in this area, the muscles just constantly will ache, and they'll feel like you pulled the muscle itself. That's because it's contracted right here, and it won't uncontract, even though I'm relaxed. So that's what I get. If I'm out like this, keeping my hands out, I get them in the shoulders, get them in the neck. So it's yeah, it can be a battle. It's just kind of figuring out what you can and can't do, and when you need to move, or when little things that I've learned, like just squeezing my toes like this will, relax the calf muscles. Believe it or not, when you're actually flexing the calf muscles, they'll relax a little bit. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that it's hard, and it's gotten harder. And the older I get, the tireder I get, the medication, the harder it is. To grab the enclosures from down there to bring them up here, to just fine motor skills like opening the latches and stuff like that, tends to be a little bit more difficult. So you lose a little bit of your spatial awareness with this disease. So it's like if you're going to grab the microphone here, you may think that you're actually there, and you close your fingers and you're not there yet. So spatial perception is key, and being a tarantula keeper, especially with old world, spatial perception is very vital. I mean, you just think about trying to take a catch cup and put it over a spider and missing it by a little bit, and oops, right in half the spider goes. So it's that's why I've trained myself to do things a certain way. I don't do a lot of just catch cup over top of the spiders, because I'm afraid that I'm not getting where I need to get to, or my muscles will fail and I don't get there quick enough, and next thing you know, I have an OBT on my ceiling. I don't want to go through all that stuff. So again, this is why I've decided no more Asian species. The ones that I have are going to be the ones that I have, and then the new African species that are coming in, that's going to be the cutoff of the African species. Again, if I run into something, at an expo or something, that's one thing, but I'm not going to order any more. It'll be more, some of the things I said I'm going to get away from, the boring, bigger, 4 or 5 inch spiders, even though I said that's my bread and butter. I feel 4 or 5 inch spiders are perfect size for me. But I so many tarantulas have molted into females now. My A gen, my Canthoscria geniculata, is definitely a confirmed female now. The Cercopelma Santa Catalina, which was a suspected female the last time, is pretty much confirmed this time. I did have to actually go outside to an arachnologist to show him a picture and say, look, I'm kind of on the fence if these are male accessory organs, or if that's the the beginning of the fusing of the uterus externus and the spermatocele. And he explained to me some things that I didn't know before, so that was good. But we do both feel that, I mean, I trust his word 100%. So if he's on the board with female, then I'm definitely on the board with female. I don't even know who else is, again, recently molted. I get a couple every week, the smaller ones are molting. I don't know about it, or one of the Taranakilas will push a molt out, and some of my tetes are getting big. I mean, they're almost 2.25, 2.5 inches now. They're gonna need to be rehoused soon. Yeah. Yes, I can, Jennifer. I will. I actually, it's on the Tarantula community group. If you go back and just type my name in, you'll see a post in there that I put about trying to share that on your channels, and get people to donate to it if you can find people. I don't know how many. I don't know who's donated to it at all. I mean, I know it's being pushed here in the United States. I don't know how much it's being pushed in the UK, if it is at all. I mean, it's on our group. It's the Tarantula Keeper Coalition. You could go to their Facebook page or their website, I think, and you can find that. But I can send you the link. But it is on the Tarantula YouTube community group somewhere in one of my posts there. So I'll redo it. I just don't want them to get pissed off at me because I'm constantly, putting it on there. I've put it on once, but I'll stick it back on there, and hopefully we can get some more people to donate. I mean, every $5 for that thing, you get 20 people, you got $100. That's the way I look at it. It's one step at a time, and you start getting dollars. I think I've had a couple people donate a little bit, a decent chunk of change. Um, Hopefully they'll get some more. Maybe some entrepreneurs that are looking for a way to offload some money as a tax write-off would be, that'd be a good way to do it. But yeah, and it will. I mean, that group's not going to grow very quickly, Trace, because it's not really advertised. It's not really out there. I mean, for getting one or two new people a week. It's when you start getting, when people are enjoying it. When those Facebook groups, or not Facebook groups, but when those channels that are on that group enjoy the group and they start putting it out there on their channels, people start coming. That's when oh my goodness, now what do we do? Because I honestly made that group just as an outlet for people. I didn't expect it at the beginning. We didn't want it to be big. We only want it to be about 60 channels that could work together. And then opening it up like we did, I won't have time to really do much on there. It's I mean, I kind of just made it so I own it. So that's why I got Rachel. Rachel's young, and I'd like to probably find another couple of channels that could help out with that stuff too later on when we get to that point. But I mean, until you get with the three of us right now, until you get to about 5 or 6 or 7 or 800 people, we're going to be okay. But if it does start to take off, yeah, we're going to have to really think about what we're going to do. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, it's still the Arachnid Boards forum is the sales sites there, but they did delete the one that's attached to their Facebook Arachnid Boards thing. That one's gone, I believe. Some of the other ones that were strictly sales, Tarantula Sales Group or Tarantula Classified Facebook groups, I think have folded up also. And what Facebook was doing is they were getting, it's an algorithm again. If they see certain words, like sell, fee, looking for, looking to buy, there's certain words or phrases that they were picking up on. And if they keep picking up on it in a certain group, and it happens a handful, I don't even know how many times, I can't tell you, maybe 100, maybe 150, 200 times. If they get to that limit, then they delete the whole entire group. That's what happened. They've actually deleted groups, not just in the tarantulas. I don't even know if it's actually been a tarantula group itself that was deleted, but other sites, other groups for whatever it may be. I don't know. Selling birthday cards. I don't know what it is. They don't want anybody, they don't want groups selling stuff. They want it all done through the marketplace so that they can get their money. That's really, I think, what it boils down to. But I mean, I can't blame them. Everyone's in for a business, and this is their business to make money. Even though I think Zuck has made stupid money. I think the money that he has laying around is making more money than some of us make, in 5 years working. Yeah, and that sucks, Jennifer. That happens. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I think it's when, and unfortunately, I mean, I'll just say it because you have tarantulas in your name, so people correlate tarantulas as that channel. So it's Jennifer's Tarantulas. If it was Jennifer's Exotics or Jennifer's Pets or something like that, maybe that would be, you would get consistent views, video to video to video. But when you add tarantulas to your name, this is things that I've noticed. When you add tarantulas to your name, people are going to automatically not want to have anything to do with it because it's tarantulas and spiders. They don't want anything to do with it. Whether you show a puppy or a kitty or whatever it may be in your channel, they don't know that because they don't care because the tarantulas turned them right on. So, it's hard to understand. You don't think of that stuff when you pick names. When I picked my name, and some people know, some people don't. I live just outside of Erie, PA. I've lived in Erie pretty much my whole entire life, or just outside, where we're at now, about 3 or 4 miles south of Erie. So the Erie was where that whole thing came about, So instead of just saying Erie, because we spell E-R-I-E, I add the extra E to make it spooky, right? So Eeriearachnids just made sense. I didn't want it to be Erie tarantulas. because at that point I did have the geckos and I did have, a couple praying mantises in the beginning, even though I never really filmed them. We had a couple house centipedes, or centipedes, little red ones that we had out there. Had a couple isopod cultures. There were different things that I had, but I never filmed anything other than the spiders, because God, who doesn't want to see a spider attack something, right? It's just absolutely, it's like boom, it's fun, it's aggressive, and you can feel it as a viewer. I mean, when I watch people's videos, and there's just that one takedown in that video that you're like, God damn, that was awesome. I want to see more of that. It's like, why do you think people watch football, or why do you think people watch car racing? They don't watch car racing to see which guy gets around 500 laps fast enough. They want to see which guy runs into the other guy and puts him in the wall, and then that. And football, they want to see somebody get hit and knocked off their feet. That's hockey, same thing. It's all physicality. So this is human nature. So when you add spiders to your name, people want to see that. They want to see that. They want to see this stuff. And when you're not producing that stuff, then they don't, that's when they go away. And they don't realize, oh, you know what, she does snakes too, and I like snakes. And no, she's got lizards, because that tarantula is in the name. And unfortunately, there's a bunch of people that do it. There's a bunch of people that have tarantulas in the name, and they try to branch off their stuff, and it just doesn't work, because they've lost all those people that are not interested in spiders whatsoever. You're not going to get those people back. Ooh, H. chilensis pairing, that's cool. I really hope that mine will, end up popping a sack. She wasn't very big, and when I bought her, God, how long have I had her now? 4 years? Three, at least, at the very least, 3.5 years. I bought her an expo here in Erie, and I brought her home. I got her all set up in a little Sterilite container, and about a week, 2 weeks later, she had laid an egg sac. Totally out of left field. I was not prepared for that whatsoever. I had no idea if it was good or if it wasn't good. So I'd ask some questions. I asked some questions of people that I trusted, and they're like, "This is what you need to do." So I did exactly what they told me to do. It was going to be pulled on 30 days, and at early 21 days, I think, is when, I want to say it was right around at 21 days, when there was an egg sac out and she was in her burrow. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. I mean, they told me, that's not good. So when I looked at the egg sac, there was an opening. The silk was pulled apart. So I don't know if she started to eat the egg sac and I just disrupted her and she ran into her burrow at that point. Well, that I have no idea. All I know is that I opened them up. I tried to incubate them. The eggs looked really, really good, nice and golden. Nothing ever happened. We had a couple that started to transform into the eggs with legs, but that very, very beginning stage of eggs with legs, and then I screwed it up. They dried out. I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. So, I mean, at that point, when you're not breeding and an egg sac is laid in your lap, it's hard to really get enough information and experience with the spiders themselves and then be able to do that. I was not prepared for that at all. So, who knows how long she was gravid, She was most likely a wild-caught female. That would be my guess. So she came in already gravid. I got her in, it was a fall show. I want to say it was October. I could be wrong, but I feel like October was the month that I got her in. So, but it could have been spring, and I'm thinking of something else that I got in October. Because I think there were 4 shows I went to in Edinburgh, so it would have been October, November. There was none December, January, February, March. It might have been March. But regardless of when it was, she laid the egg sac, and I wasn't ready for it. So I'm hoping, that her gestation period, she's gotten bigger, and she's still eating. So I'm just kind of, if it happens, it happens. I'll be stoked. I know what to do with them now. If it doesn't, I feel bad because my female ate the male that Jordan sent me. Yeah, spider couple. It is difficult to try and do it. It's just too hard sometimes to fit it in. And what I found is, for a while I could do my responsibilities of feedings and filming together. I can't do that anymore. It's not because of how many I have. It's because of how I feel physically and the exhaustion part of it. So my major responsibility now has to make sure that they're fed and they're watered. So that's more important than dragging out the camera, dragging out the stand, setting up the light, getting the microphone ready, and then hoping to God that for the next hour that while I'm feeding, I actually get 4 or 5 or 6 good takedowns. Do I talk? Do I not talk? You know, let's just do filming and we'll edit and then just put music to it, because I actually like that better. I mean, I enjoy talking and helping people. But the feeding videos, I found when I do feeding videos and I talk, I don't edit out stuff, because there's nothing more drives me crazy. And maybe you guys feel the same way. Tell me if you do. That when you're watching a video and you're seeing somebody talk, and then what they're talking about just kind of stops and then something else starts. And you could tell that, you know, because their head was over here and now their head's like this. They're talking about something completely different because they edited out maybe 5 minutes of them talking about something that they really didn't need. So they mash all that together, and you'll get someone that's talking like, then it'll be like, okay, and then, oh, it's something different. And I have no idea at the point. And those videos, I shut them off. I shut them off. Even my really, really good friends, when they edit like that, and they're talking about one thing, and then they completely 180 and talk about something different, I shut them off. I can't deal with that. You know, edit a little bit better so that it meshes, you know, it meshes a little bit better. Petco's really good at that. You know, his seaming, you know, his seams with his editing are way better than anybody else that does this. You know, his transitions, but there are times when you can tell that, you know, he's edited out quite a bit of stuff because he's talking about maybe even a different spider the next time that you know, that transition. There's no clip. Okay, so I film in clips. So let's say I feed 10 spiders, I have 10 clips. I put them all together in the end as a one video, so it's a seamless video. If I want to do the transition from clip, then you'll know that clip is done. We're transitioning into something else with either a fade or a fire or whatever it may be. Some of those people don't do that. They just edit and paste and cut and paste, cut and paste, and put all stuff together. I can't do that. I don't have the equipment to do it. I don't have the software to do it. I don't have the patience to do it. So it's kind of difficult. Now, I'm not really quite sure how to get more attention or more interaction. It just takes time, and it's, you know, Trace, wishing for it to happen. I think we should just let it progress. You know, just keep doing what we're doing, keep doing what you're doing. You know, people enjoy that you know, friendly face in the morning, or the how's everybody doing, or what you're looking forward to. You know, more people get in, more people are going to respond to that, and they're going to see that. People respond better with kindness and caring than they do with negativity and rudeness. Yeah, that's the best way. I mean, Austin, you know, and you can find almost anything with him, or he can find it for you. And, you know, I mean, I have Allie and Jared, too, that can help. And, I mean, I have a lot of people that can find stuff for me if I really, really am looking for something. Although no one has been able to get me a Eeriearachnids John Esposito toy. No one could find one for me. And now I don't even want one anymore because, again, I'm done with Asians. I don't want to do Asians anymore. They're not seen enough, and they're so pretty, and you just don't see them enough for doing this. I mean, I'm going to keep them, you know, for my personal stuff because I enjoy them, but I'm not going to get any more. Yeah, and that's a good point too, Gandalf. A lot of people say that you know, they do their filming and their stuff on their channel so that they can go back and watch it later. You know, maybe their kids or their grandkids or whatever it may be, or you know, maybe you know, God forbid the day that, you know, we leave the earth. There's always going to be that voice. They can always go back and say, hey, I just want to see Dad for a couple minutes. They can go back to, you know, YouTube and say, you know, there's my dad. You know, I miss him. Hey, Dad, and you know, shut it back off. So there'll always be that, and that's nice, and it's a very sentimental thing. Um, I don't even know that my kids have ever watched any of my videos. I know my wife hasn't watched any of them, but I honestly do not believe that my kids have watched any of my videos. They really don't care about this stuff, and it's, oh, Dad's filming again, or Dad's spiders, or, you know, whatever it may be. And I kind of felt bad because I felt sometimes I was putting a little bit more time and effort into them than I was with them, you know. I mean, I don't miss their sporting events. I mean, today I am because I had to work, but I don't miss their sporting events. unless they're two of them are doing something at the same time. But I can't be in two places at the same time. But I never miss that stuff because a lot of stuff that I did when I was a kid, sporting. As soon as I got to the point where I could drive, my parents missed a lot of that stuff because they didn't really particularly care for hockey, so they didn't really want to go. So I drive myself with it. That gets them out of going. I didn't want to do that with my kids, or my grandkids when they start doing that stuff. I want to be supportive. I want to be there when I can be, because I think it's important for them. I mean, we go watch Alex play softball in the summer. I mean, and believe it or not, there's actually a couple of the other parents of people that are out here that we know go and watch their kids too. At age 20, 21. When I started playing and my wife and I got married, my in-laws came to a few of my games, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Could hardly get. My parents didn't want to go, but my in-laws were coming to watch, and I thought that was kind of cool. And just I mean, I think it means a lot for you just to be there. You don't have to go crazy or do anything. Just be there. And again, there's days when I go crazy and I wake up and I'm like, I just don't even want to face this day. But I know, within an hour or two after I'm at work or I'm awake or whatever, I'm always going to get that message from Tracy saying, how's your day? How you feeling today? It makes you feel better that people, are looking out for you. Let's put it that way, looking out for you. Let's see, where am I at here? Yeah, well, let's hope, Trace, that this lady's on. That's gravid. I think they have around 80, little ones somewhere in that area. They're so tiny, and getting them to even first or second instar is going to be a task because they are so tiny. AZT's the Spider Woman. Yeah, and my energy level is usually not very high by the time I'm out of work. A lot of times I'm sputtering around noon, and I don't eat breakfast because the colitis. Generally, when I go to bed and I wake up in the morning, I have no desire to eat anything for the first couple hours I'm awake. Part of it's because I don't have any hunger, and sometimes it's laying down. Honestly, really bothers that a little bit, but yeah. So there's not a lot of energy. I mean, I do my coffee and but so yeah, if I start running out of steam at work around noon, I know I'm done. I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna try and stay awake long enough for us to eat. You know, uh, try to watch a little bit of TV. I'll watch Mom or I'll watch Two and a Half Men, or we'll watch Sports Center or whatever it may be, just to try to keep me awake. Which generally makes me I'll be like there, doing one of these while I'm watching. But yeah, energy level is not at a high, and I don't know. I mean, we've discussed it with the doctor on how to try and figure out how to up that. What we do have to do is testosterone testing to make sure that my testosterone levels haven't gotten too far, because that could be a problem too. And then again with the medication, so I'm doing a little bit of research on the CBD, is that what it's called? CBD, the extract from the marijuana, so the oils, and see if this will help the MD a little bit more than the medication, so I can get off that medication and use something more natural. I think I would feel much better that way. Oh, for a long time there, Paranormal, I wasn't editing at all. Whatever I filmed went into the video, and that's, you could. I've had so many people send me messages say, "Why would you just sit there looking at a box of dirt with a spider that hasn't moved in 5 minutes and just continue talking?" I've had a lot of that, and I say the same thing over and over and over again. Because I don't have time to edit, but you don't have to watch. That's what I always say. I mean, you don't like it, you don't really have to watch. So, notice how this part right here is like darker than the rest of them. Maybe it's just a reflection. I don't know. My grandfather, my mom's dad, he had a little bit of reddish in his beard, and I have this little bit, here or there, and I mean, it's all going gray. But every time I see my mom, she goes, "Oh, you remind me so much of my dad." I say, "I know, you told me that the last time." Later on, Jennifer, I know I'm probably way later. I don't know, actually, only about 5 minutes ago. Yeah, you're right, Vic. I mean, everything I do is on the phone too. I don't use a computer for anything. So you're kind of shackled to whatever you're using on the phone. But what was funny is when my other phone started to die, it didn't have a lot of space, so I couldn't store a lot of videos. A lot of time I had to, I filmed some stuff, but I had to delete a bunch of stuff before I could actually get it to upload to YouTube. Now I have this phone; it's got all kinds of space, and I don't video. There's probably 1,000 pictures on here. I need to go through and delete probably about 500 of them because they're just random pictures of the spiders that aren't really that crisp. Really that picture that grabs you. Those are the pictures I want to keep. Is the ones that just really grab you. Of course, my ventral pictures and my spermathecate pictures are very, very important. Um, but I mean, I think since I've got this phone, there's 400 pictures from the beginning of January. I think when I got this phone, there's 400 pictures on here, and I probably deleted about 200. So I've taken roughly about 600 pictures, and I bet you about 30 of them are really, really good. And then there's probably, I don't know, 25 ventral pictures. But my problem is that I took the pictures, and what I need to do a better job of is cataloging. So when I take a picture of a ventral, I need to name that picture. So you go to the edit and it'll tell you, rename. I need to do that, and I need to say what spider it is. If it's Tete number 3, or if the spider's got an actual name, I need to put that in there, and then the size of the spider, so that as I'm cataloging all these ventrals, because I've had a lot of people in the groups get back to that. Oh, ventral sexing is not accurate. Anybody that believes it is full of shit, and that. Oh God, that really made me mad today, because I worked very hard over the last couple of years to be able to get to a point where I feel I can. I'm at 95% accurate. There'll be ones when you show me, and I'll be like, I don't know. I don't even want to call it, because I don't want to guess. I don't ever want to guess. There's been a few that I've missed. Don't get me wrong. There's a Balfouri of mine that I thought for sure was female, and the next time it molted, it turned into a mature male. So, you get them wrong. But we've also had, there was a picture, and I know Gar's not on here, but there was a picture that was posted on the tarantula community months ago, and it was a molt picture, and you could see the two structures right there. I mean, plain as day, they were right there, and there were 14, 15, 16 people, I think, that put female, myself included. And the one person says, I really think those are male accessory organs. A spider at that size for this species should have a much more defined uterus externus. And we started looking at it, and Stuart Longhorn came in and said, yeah, I concur that this is a male. And Gar was one of the ones that said it was a female too. It wasn't just me. So, I mean, we missed a molt. That was, you had those two structures there that, everyone, absolutely, that's a female. And that's the thing, is that I found that with North American, Central American, and South American species, usually the larger ones, a lot of times male accessory organs will fool you into believing that you have a female. So I said that I believe that there's just as many misidentifications done with molting as there is with ventrals. The problem is that people have been told over the course of however long they've been in the hobby that ventral sexing is inaccurate. So they just believe what they've been told. How would you explain to me, if you're still in here, Vic, if try to do this for me. This is a quick exercise. You're anti ventral sexing, okay? You say it's garbage, it's not reliable. If I ask you a question like, could you explain to me why you think it's not reliable? And the first answer that you say is, well, people all said this or people did that. I don't want to hear what people said or did. I want to know what you did. I want to know, did you try? Are you no good at it? And that's why you're saying that, it's not feasible. You just don't want to take the time to do it, and that's perfectly fine. Do you not have the proper resources to do it? Do you not have enough spiders to do it? I've been cataloging ventral pictures with molt pictures on confirmed females and males for the last couple of years. Just I forget to write which one's which. So when you're doing that, and you can say, okay, somebody put a picture of an OBT up, and you got 4 or 5 people are saying male, and I go back to my ventral picture, and I'm like, nope, absolutely looks just like the female that I have. That was a confirmed female molt-wise that I sexed ventrally both ways. And I say, no, it's a female, and here's a picture of the one that I had. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, then you're right. It does look like a female. Is there just not enough information for you to say ventral sexing is not reliable? What are you looking for when you ventral sex? Are you even bothering to try, or are you just saying, because the vast majority of people that are doing it in the groups are just guessing, because you got a 50-50 shot, right? You could look really smart if you guess right 10 times. It doesn't mean that you actually know what you're looking for. And that's what I said is, what are you looking for? How do you know when you're ventral sexing what it is that you're looking for? Too many people want to say, oh, well, there's a slit there, and it looks like lips, so it's got to be a female. If you're ventral sexing, please, please, please do not ventral sex to be a female. Ventral sex it to not be a male. You're looking for epiandrous fusillae, the little hairs or spinnerets that help them generate their sperm web. That's what you are looking for when you ventral sex. Some species are much more difficult than others. Some species that are really, really difficult at 3 inches can't be done at 2 inches. It's just, you have to know. You have to do it. And people come in the hobby, and 2 months later, they're all over this can't be any good. This can't be any good. This, you're wrong. Listen, I've been doing this longer than you've been in the hobby. So why would you second guess what I'm trying to tell you? Open your minds a little bit and try to get knowledge, not just disregard everything. I learned a long time ago, and believe it or not, it was with Exotic Slayer. I had a problem with the way he kept one certain tarantula, and it came out on a group. He messaged me, we talked about it, he explained to me a situation. I never really correlated with geographical locations with what type of substrate you're using. Why isn't it damp? You have a C. lividus, why isn't it damp in there? Well, I live in this country in Asia, and it's like 98% humidity all the time. I don't want to create more because I get mold. Okay, it never crossed my mind. That actual conversation there is how the tarantula community, the tarantula YouTube community Facebook group actually came about, because of a statement that I made that I didn't agree with the way he was keeping that. And again, people want to give, and I did it. People want to give information. Now, it's generalized, okay? Most people say, hey, a C. lividus needs to be on wet, damp substrate. You have to make sure the humidity level is at blah, 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 blah. Now, how do you know what the humidity level is unless you're down in the burrow? Okay, I don't care what surface humidity is. What's the humidity down there in the burrow where the spider's at? That's what you want to know. So, I just hope that when you guys are doing videos, if you take anything from what I've done or what I've said, is to help your viewers be open-minded, to find other ways to do things, to listen to other people, to actually really want to take the time to educate themselves instead of just listening to what people tell them. Live it, okay? Live it. Live the experience. Find someone that can give you some knowledge and some of their experience, and then correlate that with your own. Hey, you know what? I don't keep my OBTs arboreal. Some people do. They want to see them climb. They want to see all that webbing. I feel that they should have enough substrate to dig in, okay? Can I set them up that way? Sure, I can. We'll move one of them the next time I rehouse them and put them in more of an arboreal setup and see what happens. Is the spider going to be unhappy? No, it's not going to sit in the corner and say, I need Prozac. It's going to be perfectly fine. It's just going to find a different way to protect itself. That's what they do. They live to protect themselves. They live to not get eaten. They live to live, and they instinctually do things. So, help your viewers, help your friends, help people in the community. Be open-minded. Give the best information that you can. And if you think that there's any question that you could be wrong, don't give the information at all, especially on YouTube. That's, again, it's just a friendly piece of advice, because people will hammer you to death if you are wrong, unless you are super popular. You have to have 50,000, 100,000, 10,000, 15,000 subscribers in order for people to take your word on everything that you say. And then when people try to correct those people, All they do is hit the little delete button because they don't want negative things, and I don't blame them. They don't want negative things in their feed because they don't want other people to see them. It's perfectly normal. I mean, I wouldn't want a bunch of people coming to my videos and saying, "Oh, you're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. You're not doing that right." When I have 20,000 people that are watching me, I'm just going to say, "Okay, well, you know what? I don't care what you say. Goodbye." You know, you won't be able to comment on any of my videos again. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just again, please, you don't have to listen. I'm not telling you what to do. Okay, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving some advice. Please make sure that you're giving the most genuine, solid information that you can. And again, encourage people to be open-minded. You know, the whole saying is that there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to keep this hobby. There's more than one way to do things that, what people do in Lower Asia are going to be completely than what Shani would do in Canada. Okay, it's just the way it is. It's finding what works best for you in your area. And when people get on you about this or that, just listen to them. You know, on the groups, the best way to do it is just listen to them, not to engage them, not to feed them. That's what trolls do, right? The more you feed them, the more they hang around. If you just say, "Huh, yeah, you know what, you're right, I'll think about that," and then just leave it at that, you're not defeated. You're not losing anything. Too many people want to win in every conversation, or every debate, every argument. The best way to win a debate with somebody is just to agree with them. Okay, yeah, you know what, you could be right. It all ends. The debate ends. People that are trolling you, if you just laugh at them, say, haha, yeah, you know what, that's pretty funny, it ends. When you engage, it keeps going and going and going. And now I spun off on a rant there. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's Melvin. It's something that's going to be, when I go back in for my next visit, I'm gonna discuss that with them. I mean, we have the medical marijuana cards down here in Pennsylvania. I know that it's gonna get passed here. It's gonna be legalized here soon anyway. But if I can do something like that, edibles or something that would help relax my muscles and still be able to let me function, at work without, the drug testing. I know that all that stuff is taken out when you take that, the oils or the edibles or whatever it is. I would be absolutely ecstatic to not have to take medication that zaps some of my energy. I mean, a lot of people that take antidepressants or, this is a seizure medication that I take. And not that I have seizures, but it's been found to help with these cramps for this type of disease. Um, but you're getting away from something, and then you're getting something back. You're never gaining anything with medication, right? There's always side effects. There's always lingering things that are going to happen later on in life you just don't know about, whatever that may be. Your kidneys, your liver, who knows what it is. But I still have cramps, but they're much less severe, and they're much less common than before I was taking the medication. But at the cost of losing that, my energy level is low. I'm one of the people that if I come home and I'm tired and I sit down, I'm done. If I come home and the grass needs to be cut, and I just go out there and do it, then I'm perfectly fine. And it's exercise, it's moving, but I move so much at work, and my knees and my back and my ankle, everything. It's just a matter of trying to get through life every day as pain-free as possible. Yeah, when I don't mind these lives. I like doing them again because I feel like I'm actually involved, and people are involved. People that are here right now want to be here. Um, and you can talk to me directly. You can ask me questions. I can answer questions. We can talk about whatever I want. You could tell me, hey, you're full of shit. Whatever you want to, whatever you want to do here. I'm more than happy for you guys to say, hey, you know what, you have no idea what you're talking about. Can you please stop? But yeah. Okay, so Spider Couple at 5:06, which is 12 minutes ago, asked this question, which is a very, very good question. We have never shown our faces. What is your thought on that? Be in front of the camera or no? Our thinking was to make it about the teeth. Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you, and this is just what I've seen over the course of a handful of years, watching videos, and so as a, I guess, as a viewer or a fan, whatever you want to call it, and doing them myself. My channel grew more when I got in front of the camera. Didn't have to be in front of the camera all the time. Um, but people like to put a face with a name. Now, there's some channels, again, probably the most popular channels out there is Exotic Slayer. He's never shown his face, right? But he's got that other little thing, and I think people, again, it's almost like, I wonder if people go there in the hopes that eventually that, they're going to catch a reflection in one of his tanks or something. I know I've watched for him before, last year sometime. I'm like, one of these times, I'm going to catch his reflection. Same thing with Marilyn Moore. I did that with her, too. I was always waiting just to catch a glimpse of what she actually looks like in her enclosures till she finally just got on film, which was not that long ago, right? It was only a handful of months ago, maybe December. It was the first time she's ever gone in front of the camera. So it has to be what you feel. Now, yes, I think the channel needs to be, my opinion, if you want the channel to be about you, make it about you. I mean, make it about your everyday life, do your vlogs, whatever it may be, incorporate your spiders or your snakes or whatever it is that you're keeping, or nothing, or maybe it's your gardening or flowers or whatever it may be, but it's you, and it's what you're doing in your daily life. There's people that enjoy watching that kind of stuff, but if you want it to be a pet channel, I think it should be a pet channel. I'm not saying you shouldn't be in front of the camera, by all means. People are very, very good at it, being in front of the camera, and that's what got people to draw to them. I know that she doesn't like when I talk about her anymore, but I take Kat as an example. She is a very, very easy person to get drawn into. She's very personable. She's got a personality that's warm and welcoming. So her in front of the camera keeps people watching her because they enjoy whatever she's doing, facial features, her looks, whatever it may, not looks, I mean the looks that she makes, whatever it may be, people enjoy that stuff. I think, honestly, try it. Try getting in front of the camera. If you're not uncomfortable doing it, I would say try it and see what happens. I've encouraged a handful of people before. I know Shanti Tarantulas, or Tarantulas with Shanti now, right? I pushed her, not to get in front of the camera, because I think she was already in front of the camera, but to do it more. Andrew from Andrew's Exotics, it took a while, and it was the tarantula tag that got him in front of the camera. And, because I did it. The first time I was in front of the camera was during tarantula tag. And it was just a surprise Cat when I did it. And then I told Andy, I said, hey, you know what, I did it, you could do it. And then he did it. And it wasn't long ago also because he's a person that people like. He's got a very, very outgoing personality that people get drawn to. So I said, you know what, I think you do better when you do an intro or an outro. You in front of the camera every single time is more appealing than not being in front of the camera. And, whatever that reason may be, it may be the way you look or the way you talk, or, the draw, the vibe, the thing that draws people in. I don't think I'm very good at that. So I never really, it wasn't really important to me. But I mean, to be honest with you, I think you should try it and see. You don't have to get in front of it all the time, but hey, maybe do just an intro every now and then, or maybe do an outro and say, we hope you liked the video. We'll try and do more things like this. What do you think? When people see your face on video, they're more apt to actually watch than just listen. Now, people get distracted, and when videos play on for a long time, people get distracted and they'll stop watching what you're doing there, and then they'll end up playing Candy Crush on their phone, and they're still, back and forth because they know you're not on there. But if they see that you're on there and they relate to you honestly, as a fan, because that's what it really is. People watch channels, they become fans of that person. Again, Exotic Slayer, people are fans of his hands. Over 1 million of them are fans of his hands. So, he's doing something right. So, I'm not saying you have to do it, but I think you should try. I mean, I would watch. I mean, I don't know what your channel is. Is your channel Spider Couple? If it is, I'll try and find it, at least save it so I can check it out when I get some time. But I like new channels of people that are original. Do you talk, or is it music? Stuff like that. I mean, if you're talking, then that transition to you being in front of the camera shouldn't be all that bad. But if you feel it should be more about the animals, then do it infrequently. Just do it every now and then. But reach out and have those people connect with you, the both of you. Um, just connect. Just say, hey, this is who we are. We're actually just real people. This is what we look like. You know, that's really it. People get ashamed of, if you're overweight. Like, I mean, I got belly. I'm a little chubby. I got some teeth that need to be replaced. So, I live in a mobile home. I don't really care anymore what people, me physically. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care if you like me for what I look like or where I live or whatever. I just want people to like what I talk about and be able to learn. And again, understand that I'm going to be as genuine as I possibly can be with everybody. So, yeah, give it a shot. Tell me what you think. I mean, if you do it, send me a message. I'd like to know if you can maybe send me a link. You can send me a message through YouTube here, or again, you can find me on my Eeriearachnids page on Facebook, or Tarantula Community. Look me up somewhere and send me a link to your channel, and I'll check it out. And again, I'd say, yeah, give it a shot, and go from there. And if it works out, then and if your views go up a little bit or your subscribers go up a little bit, then that maybe we need to be a little bit more involved personally. Yeah, it's coming though. It's coming. I think Pennsylvania's gonna be the next state where it's gonna be legal, as recreational too. So yeah, I do. I think I have got every, Shani's all her eventual pictures that she sent to me, and I think I haven't screwed up with you either, Vic. Right, with any of the ones that you sent me. I really feel. I mean, hold on. I've actually missed a couple myself. Give me a second. Hello. I'm not gonna be able to answer this. We lose our reception really bad. Yeah. My wife's calling. She's down in Pittsburgh. So, yeah. Uh-oh. I think I've went. Yeah, I know what you mean, Zena. People do hammer people, and I think when they feel that they can take advantage, and I also believe that when you engage back, those people want to get a rise out of you, and when they see they can get a rise out of you, then they're going to keep doing it, and they just sit back and smile. To be honest with you, I learned that. I learned it the hard way because I mean I engaged quite a bit with people, and I'll be like, oh no, why would you say this, and you've never lived this or you've done that or whatever, and then they just coming back, and then you get exhausted. And I mean that's why I see in the tarantula community are I mean we have 11,000 people in there, almost 11,600 people in there, and it just started in February of 2018. So you see all kinds of types of people, and the normal people that just like to troll, some of my UK friends that they just, they've lost so much faith in the hobby that they just go in groups just to be funny and try to get people to get pissed off at them. But trust me, there's groups all over the place that make fun of people. And there's groups where, you take a screenshot, just some of the craziest things that you've ever seen people say. You put them on and you're like, what the hell is this person thinking? And it's just a way for I don't know how many people are even in that group, 100 people maybe, and just like, oh my God, this is what this person said. They have absolutely no research, no anything, but they're talking like they do, and they just said something that's completely way out in left field. You're like, where'd that come from? We had one guy, one time, somebody posted a picture of a tarantula, and it was just on soil, on whatever, cocoa fiber or whatever. And the guy literally said, you have to get that spider off the cocoa fiber and put leaves underneath there. The spider cannot touch the floor because he might get foot rot. Where in the hell did that even ever come from? So, people got on him and hammered him, followed him from group to group to group, because he was giving very, very crap information that you can't even look it up and figure, I mean, this is just stuff he made up. And you wonder, is he really trolling? But then you actually, because I've had many a discussion with him through Messenger, because he felt I was following him around, but just so happens we were all in the same groups, and he kept saying the same stupid stuff. So I'd be like, hey, maybe you should read a book or talk to somebody that has a little bit more knowledge before you make a fool of yourself. But no, people just like to make fools of themselves. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, Melvin. I'd like some happiness side effects. Yeah, a lot of people say that too about the live, um, because they don't have to actually be watching me. You don't need to, because you're just hearing me, and that's part of the podcast draw was people could listen, put it in while they're working or working out or driving or whatever, and they can listen to me. That's another thing I need to get back to is podcasts. But I mean, that's easy. I don't even have to film anything. I just put the microphone on and start talking. That should be easy for me. I didn't even want to do that. So you have to know how bad it really was with me, and it's still not great. I mean, right now it's still I'm not there. I'm not where I want to be, and it may be a while before I am. It may not happen till after my birthday in July when I'm actually turned 50. This may be something that's in the back of my mind that I don't even realize that that's affecting me as much as it is. I mean, my son's going to be 21. I have my oldest was born in 1990, so he's 29. He's going to be 30 next year. I have a child that's 30 years old, and you feel, sometimes you still feel like you're still a kid. Like just yesterday I was on the hockey rink at age 18, and here I am, you know 3 months from being 50. That's how quick, you close your eyes and boom, it's hard for me to believe that next year my oldest, with Linda and I, our oldest son is going to graduate from college, and get to that point where he's going to be finding a job and working in a dangerous field, because he took criminal justice and law enforcement, and that's what Eric's taking too. So I'm starting to get crampy, as you can tell. I'm going to start getting fidgety here. Um, and the crappy thing is when you're on medication and you start getting this, there's nothing I can do. Sometimes hot showers work, but there's nothing really I can do except for get up and go do something else. But yeah, so that in the back of my mind. I mean, my parents are getting older. They're in their early to mid 70s now, and my in-laws are getting older, and I think when my grandmother died, you start, she was the matriarch of our family, so it was that you get that mortality, and you start thinking about how many years do I really have left, and you start having some aches and pains in places that you're like, oh, is this, are my kidneys acting up? Because I mean, I had kidney stones before, and I get these little back pains, and I'm like, is that the medication? You do blood tests, everything's fine. You're like, okay, but I really don't even want to know what's going on inside there. But yeah, so there's a lot of things going on. It's hard to shake. So, the medical would be great to have, a happiness side effect. That would be kind of nice. Yeah, Melvin, if you're talking about Kat, yeah, she's very good at being a YouTube presenter. She really is. She's got the personality to do it. And her in and niche was the spiders. So again, I don't say anything bad about her, because I mean, we were really good friends. We just had a falling out, and it was just stupid stuff and things that I felt, and things that she felt. It's just hard to get over that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, she's a good person, and she's really good at doing what she does. I mean, yeah, and she'll tell you now. And I think that whole thing where she says I'm not an expert, I think that was just because of something that I said. Um, so she kind of points that out all the time, and I don't know if that's a dig or it's not a dig. I really, personally, I really don't care, and I may be completely wrong, but again, it's hard. Okay, let me get this straight. Let me put it as is. When you're newer to keeping, whatever it is, spiders, snakes, lizards, cats, dogs, I don't care what it is, and you have a YouTube channel, and you become popular. It is hard, is much more difficult for someone like that to keep good content, not good content, but you have to get away from stuff that you don't know, that you're going to get put into a corner with. Um, you have to do safe things, okay? Because you have to stay within your experience level and your knowledge level. Yes, you can ask people, you know, this or that or whatever it may be, and you could set up your videos based on all that stuff, and that's perfectly fine. So, you know, let's just say we do a care sheet video. Well, it's me. I'm doing a care sheet on Semmelpace pulper. Okay, I've been in the hobby for 3 or 4 months. My channel got really popular. People like me. I'm funny. You know, I do cute little skits or whatever it may be. You know, I stand on my head, whatever it may be. I don't know, but I'm giving you a care sheet on this. Now I've got information from a handful of people, put it all together into a script. I set the video up. I did the video, and then somebody asks me a question that I can't answer because I don't know, because most of the information I use in the video was not really firsthand experience. And again, there's nothing wrong with going to people because I still do. Again, I just went to Stuart today to make sure that what I'm seeing was right, because I didn't want to say, oh look, here's my Serica Santa Catalina female, put the molt on there. Someone come back to me and said, oh no buddy, here those are accessory organs. I needed to make sure because they had that semblance, and they were somewhat in the area, but you know what he told me is, you know, think of Mickey Mouse ears. Okay, so if you have two Mickey Mouse ears, for a male, that part on the bottom, if it's thick like this and it goes up, then your lobes are probably female. If it's more of a circle, it's most likely going to be male. And hopefully I can do a video of that. It's a matter of I try to figure out how to. I can't put pictures with my videos because of the editing program I use, but I'd love to be able to show that stuff. You know, get crystal clear, good pictures. But I may need to scavenge them from other people and have people send me some stuff so that I have what I need. But yeah, I mean, if that's what you mean, yeah, there are people that are presenters. That's what I call them. They're presenters. They're a character, not you know, a make believe character. They're themselves, but they're a character. And you know, I used to watch this girl. I think her name was something Rose. She's from the UK. She's a real tall girl. She has, you know, her sister's real pretty. She did videos all the time. She, you know, she would do the top 10 reasons why, and I loved watching her. First of all, because I loved listening to her. I loved her accent. Was pretty cool. And she was easy to look at too. So, you know, it made it more fun. But her skits that she set up, I mean, she painstakingly, she would literally write skits and write, you know, the whole entire video out, and they would practice doing the video before they actually film it. And she did outtake. Emily Rose, I think. I really want to say it's Emily Rose, but I loved watching her. She was a presenter. She wanted to be a presenter. She wanted to be something like a talk show host. You know, people that want to be in front of people and talking all the time. That's, you know, that's a presenter. And it's fun. It's fun. Trust me. It's fun watching Cat's videos. It was fun watching Exotic Slayer's videos. I don't have a lot of fun watching him anymore, but his videos are fun. People enjoy them. But I can't segregate between people that, I can't say that this person doesn't know what he's talking about or this person doesn't know what he's talking about, because there's little of that there. You know, the substance and the videos are different than, you know, what I do and you know, what I've done in the past or what Tom Moran does. So my personal problem, is that I compared that to me. I felt that if you're doing a YouTube channel, then you need to do it the right way, my way, okay? So you need to have that information with the video itself, okay? And if you stuttered or you second guessed or you weren't quite sure or you said something completely wrong, then it shows that you really don't know what you're talking about. And that's what I always worried about, was I need to make sure that everything that I say is as accurate as I possibly can be. I made the Brachypelma hamori, Brachypelma smithi video when the first thing came out. The first person I went to was Tom Moran. I said, hey, the paper's been accepted. Here you go. You can do what you need to do. And his video was Brachypelma smithi is now Brachypelma hamori. Okay, so this is the information that we had, the way that the thing was read, and it wasn't completely 100% right. So, you know, I made a video later on, you know, trying to show you the difference. the best that I possibly could. There's been people that have done it since that are completely 100% wrong, but they feel that they were right. And that stuff used to bother me. And I would send a message, hey, you know what, this isn't really right. You know, this is what you said. And then I would get back that snooty, crazy comments about, screw you. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. And, you know, then you find out later this person's been in the hobby for like 2 months. Um, you know, I don't know. Again, I'm ranting again, and I said before I wouldn't talk about other YouTube channels, but hopefully I'm shedding a positive light instead of being mean, because that's what I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean to anybody. I mean, I still, you know, I mean, if I start watching videos again and one of Kat's videos popped up, I watched her. I'll tell you, the last video that I watched was her one on her spider, the St. Louis show that she did. Just wanted to see how the show went. You know, I mean, Mike was in it and Petco was in it, and you know, some of my friends from the tarantula community and the TKC were in it. So I wanted to watch that. That's the last video I watched. So that's been a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, I think, maybe. And that's really the only video I've watched in the last, you know, month and a half or so. And before that, it was I watched a couple of Sophie's videos, and like her questions videos that she was putting out, and a couple of things. But she's probably put out, I don't know, 10 or 15 videos that I haven't even watched yet. So again, I'm way behind. And you know, Andrew, I watched everything. Every time Andrew put a video out, I watched it. And every Friday when Carolina would put her feeding videos out, I would watch them. And I haven't watched anything from either one of them in forever. This is where I'm at. That's how bad it's gotten. So I hope you guys can understand, you know. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. That's not why I'm doing this. I just want, you know, anybody that watches this off the live, you know, if you're going to sit through however many minutes, 2 hours and 37 minutes right now, if you could sit through all that stuff, you know, I don't know how you can, you know, without being live. I don't know that I'd be able to watch this. But again, you probably could just put it on while you're doing cleaning and listen, or cooking or whatever. Yeah, I suppose that's possible. Yeah, Vic, you know me. I'm honest 100%. I try not to sugarcoat anything. You know, I mean, if I'm talking to you about something or somebody, I'm going to tell you how I feel. And some people don't agree with that. It's almost like you have to hide your emotions and hide your feelings and hide your opinions. Again, you know, sometimes my opinions are wrong, but it's hard to get away from your opinions, because once you get ingrained with an opinion, you think that that's right, because that's, you know, the vision that you get. So I've tried since the whole Fatal Fangs thing to try and be more open-minded about everything. There's things I won't involve myself with ever again, and that's one of them, the Fatal Fangs things. But yeah, try to be more open-minded with people. You know, there was people that, you know, a year ago, if you told me that I wouldn't watch their videos or wouldn't want to be associated with those people a year from now, I'd have told you were crazy. And here I am, you know, with quite a few, and a lot more than, you know, again, some of it's me, some of it's them. So I'm not trying to make myself look like I walk on water here, because I don't. Yeah, I would say give it a shot, Spider Couple. I say go do one, and tell everybody I'm the one that told you to do it. And if it bombs, then you can blame me. Yeah, I haven't watched. Again, I mean, I've watched a couple of videos from Jennifer when she first started, but I haven't watched much of anything. So paranormal, I don't know. Really, I don't know how it works, but I've had people actually message me on YouTube. I don't know why or how. I just know it happens. I've never, you know, strictly messaged somebody. Oh, that's what. I keep rubbing my hand on something. I couldn't figure out what it was. Here it is. It's a little strand of hot glue. Probably when I was gluing something together and put the glue gun down, it probably dripped or leaked a little bit. Where am I at? 528. We're at 543. Yeah, you're right, Melvin. I do that. I don't look in the mirror very often, but I'm looking at myself right now saying that, oh my God, you know, you realize how old you look. Yeah, Tracy's right? I mean, some of us have turned 50 and feel 25. Some of us are 50 and turn 50 and feel 76. You know, I felt old for years because of the injuries and the surgeries and, you know, stuff like that. So my body's, you know, it's just a lot of scar tissue inside. Take it easy, Gandalf. I know I'm probably way late saying goodnight, but yeah, Melvin, I mean, you're right. I mean, I know, you know, and I mean, I feel bad because we were really close. I mean, I felt like in the beginning I was really, you know, a big mentor to her. And, you know, for as much as Tracy, I mean, Tracy, you realize, you know, the amount of conversations that we've had, multiply that by 10 in a day. And that's, you know, the way it would go with Kat. And, it, you know, be sometimes we just talk about stupid stuff and, you know, that was a lot about spiders that, you know, learning, you know, her learning this or learning that or, you know, asking questions. So, I mean, I do kind of feel bad, you know, and I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't really want to delve into it because it's, you know, it's really hers and my business, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, I know there's been other people that have had problems with her and she's had problems with. It's just, you know, it's growing and adapting and, you know, changing and evolving and you know, popularity helps, you know, it helps people change certain ways and hurts people change certain ways. And, you know, some people don't keep up and they're like, you know, what happened here? You know, we like yesterday we were talking about this and now this person doesn't even want to talk to me because, you know, I only have 1,000 subscribers or, you know, because um, I don't edit my videos or whatever it may be, you know, stuff like that. It was perfectly fine last week, and all of a sudden now it's not. And again, I'm not even saying, you know, there's other people that I've had problems with, and I sometimes wonder, is it me? You know, is it really me that's having all these problems with people, and because it's me, because of what my ideal is, and then when those people don't meet that ideal, I disassociate myself, you know. But I do, you know, there are a few people that I have not been particularly happy with over the course of the last few months that, you know, I just, I don't know, I just felt disappointed in some of the things that they've done or said, and that when I asked about it, they didn't really, like they didn't care. Like, oh, it's the way I'm always this way. Oh, no, you're really not. But no, yeah, getting old is not for sissies, that's for sure. And I'm a big sissy, so getting old is really going to suck for me. You know what, Melvin? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that originally, and I know a lot of people believe that. I know a lot of people believe that he does whatever he does to get views, and I think it's just to get good footage, really, to be honest with you. And I don't know what he does. I can't. I can. You can speculate, but I can't say for fact that, you know, this person does that or that person does this or that. We can all speculate because, you know, we have them, and you know when you know it's questionable when you have a collection of 100 and somebody else has a collection of 100, and I maybe get one threat posture every 3 or 4 weeks and this person's getting 20 of them in a 10-minute video. Yeah, you kind of question it, so you speculate. And maybe we weren't fair with that. Maybe we are. Maybe we're not. But again, I've resigned to the fact that, you know, I'm going to let him do his thing. You know, it doesn't matter what I say about him anyway. I mean, what the hell am I going to hurt him? Um, but I know that, you know, I mean, he's a nice kid. He really is. He's a nice kid, and he's a little sensitive, and he does value people's opinions. I know that, and I know he gets upset when he feels people don't like him or um, don't not even agree, because it's not even a matter of fact of agree. But I mean, I honestly, I mean, when I someone said that he did a ventral sexing video, and I kind of cringed. Um, I because that's not him. You know, it's information is not his channel, so I didn't even want to watch it because I don't even want to know. But again, the bigger channels are better at presenting things you get back to that whole, remember I said about presenters, presenting things, whether it's through computer editing, pictures, whatever it may be. They're much better at that stuff than a lot of us. And Tom Moran's excellent at it. He's a teacher, so he probably has to utilize that stuff constantly as, with being a teacher. Um, so yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to, again, I'm trying to be open minded, and again, there's people I don't particularly care about, but I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I mean, there's people I really had knockdown drag out stuff with, and I don't wish bad things to happen to anybody. And I mean, I know people that know both of us, and like this person more, or that person more, and come in here, and they're listening to the stream and they go running right, and this happened. I mean, I'll lay it out for you. A couple streams ago, um, I don't know, 3 or 4 streams ago, I don't know. I was done with the stream, and within minutes, I had the messages about, you don't think people are coming to me and telling me, and blah blah blah, and I was just like, I didn't realize I needed permission to say whatever it is I want to say, but that's just stuff, stupid stuff. Again, just stupid stuff that we really, you know, I haven't gotten over it, to be honest with you. I haven't really gotten over it, and I don't think I ever will. It's just a matter of, again, it's just what I feel. So yeah, but I know. I mean, I know people that a lot of people will be like, oh, yeah, you're right, you're right, you're right. And they're in here and they're talking to me and they're saying the same things, and then while they're doing that, they're sending a message to Kat, and they're like, oh God, Dave's live again, and your name came out of his mouth. Oh my God, I'm sure she's already seen this. So I mean, I've seen a lot of times when I have 10, 12 people in here, and there'll be 7 or 8 people that are just watching but not commenting. It's that's okay. Again, I mean, if she wants to complain to me and yell at me, she can come and yell at me again. And I'm a big boy. Yeah, you're right. It's perspective. It's how you see things. That's what opinions always are. It's how you see things personally. You can't make an opinion based on what somebody else sees. It's impossible. You can try and look through their eyes after they give you the opinion and say, hey, you know what? That guy's not really as stupid as what he sounds. I mean, I think actually that makes more logical sense than what I was thinking. Maybe he is right, or she is right, or whatever it may be. Yeah, take it easy, Vic. I know I'm probably, oh, it was only 2 minutes ago. Imagine that. I'm catching up. Oh, I caught up. I caught up to everything. Yeah, there is, Melvin. There really is. And I have a funny feeling I know a couple of them, to be honest with you. And the funny thing is that it was when I boiled it down to who was there at that time, and I could eliminate all but 2 people, and those 2 people that I couldn't eliminate, I was really, really, really shocked that they ran and tattled. Yeah, I mean, really, because again, I mean, if Kat wants to go on and say all kinds of bad stuff about me or anybody else, that's the way it is. I mean, we went through it with Edward, right? Edward went on his rants. I told him how it was. He either listened or he didn't listen, and that's there's not much more you can do about it. If you guys could just give me 2 minutes, I need to go call my wife because she called on here, which I get crap reception, and see what it is that she wants. I'm not sure when Eric is coming home from Lock Haven. So yes, Trey. So one of those people was who we talked about. Um, I'll tell you the other one who I think it was privately. Either later tonight or tomorrow, whatever it may be. I'm gonna go call her real quick to make sure Eric's not on his way home and sitting out there on his way to Lock Haven. He can't get a hold of me. I don't know when they're done there. Lock Haven's what, 4 hours from me, 3 hours from here, so he's quite a ways. But if they're not gonna be home till late, and I got to make sure that I stay awake to go get him, I need to know this information. So just give me a minute, and we'll come back if you guys want to stick around for a little bit longer. Um, we'll probably go to like 6:30, 6:45 if you guys are all willing to hang out. If I come back and half you guys are like, ah, no, I think I'm gonna go, then we'll kill it when I get back. But yeah, I figured Lock Haven was somewhere in that area over there. Yeah, he's running his track meet over there, so I don't think anything's bad. She'd probably call me and say, "Are you watching Alex?" It's probably on YouTube, and the game, and I didn't turn it on because I had a hard time finding him last time. But that's probably what it is. So let me go call her, and I'll be right back. Okay. All right. So Zena's gone. I'm back. I couldn't get a hold of either her or Haley. So okay, Spider Couple's checking out. See you guys later. Yeah, my have an Acalcodes that's in desperate need of a mold. I've had her for 2.5 years. She hasn't molted yet. We paired her, but she didn't take. It didn't take. So that's the one I paired with Mike. Mike's male from KC Tarantulas, and she hasn't molted since we've done that, and that's 2.5 years ago. Oh yeah, I'm sure everything's okay. Who knows? They may be in a spot where their reception is crappy. I don't know. See, where I'm at, we don't have a tower right here. They keep saying they're going to build one, and every time they find a location, the township says no. We've had people donate their property over here. They're an overhead door company just right across the street, or next block over. And the township said no, we don't want it there because if they put it on their own property, then they'll get the rent money for it. And Plyler said you could have the money. We just need to get it up because there's blocks right around this area that let's say when I'm in a block, I'm like a block out. Your reception is blacked out. I can have my phone right here and not be able to send a text message, walk 10 feet that way and be able to send it. That's how bad it is right in this area. So, I don't even know how many I have in pre-molt melon. My problem is because so many of them live underground anymore that I have a small Rotom that's been in pre-molt for a little while, but, um, I There's so many of them that you can't see, like the the Formicocheilus rufus. You get a glimpse of it every now and then. Those are the ones that you, holy crap, you molted because the molt sitting out on top, but it could have been a week ago or 2 days ago or that day or whatever. I woke up today to check on my Santa Catalina, and I noticed she had molted. So, um, yeah, I'll put a picture of her on Instagram. She was in the water dish, rehydrating post molt. Yeah, I just wanted to check, make sure everybody's doing okay today before I went off to work, and I'll do that frequently. If I get up a little early, I wake up before my alarm, I'll hang out with the spiders for a little bit and take a shower and go to work. And yeah, we're at that. How long are we at? 2:56. We're at that. Everyone's. I noticed that, believe it or not, most of the people that actually come in here to the live views are my UK friends. I don't get a lot of my friends here, and they come in. I think it's, I don't know. I think they're worried about what I'm going to tell them or what I'm going to say. But yeah, video. I don't know when. I wanted to do. I mean, I put the community tab thing up, and these do work pretty good, Trace, without, as you can see, without the things on. And they're easy to find too. The silver sometimes blends in. These things stand right out. And I'm just about ready to break into the bag of barbecue chips. I haven't got into those yet, but I did enjoy the regular ones, by the way, so thank you. What was I saying? I don't even know. I smell pizza for some odd reason. I don't know. I don't have pizza here, but I smell pizza. So we got, and I know this is backwards, but these are stickers for the Tarantula Keepers Coalition. And these are, the group of people, a nonprofit that is doing the fundraiser or the GoFundMe for the Poecilotheria, the tract land in Sri Lanka. Here's our the Tarantula community logo. We all had like a little hand in designing this, and I like the city background, because I want it to be, somewhat of a community, and then they added the globe behind it and the spiders. You can see there are different kinds of spiders around here, I mean, this one's a long one, just different kinds around there. See Garrett, I did again. Jared, the one put this all together, so we're looking forward to that, and we're going to do shirts sometime soon with this, and I know they have, with the Tarantula community, they have merchandise, and then, they like make new stickers all the time. So, I mean, the design itself, like this, stays, because that's their thing, but it's just the way that the sticker lays out differently. This one's, a little bit more of a square, or a little longer, so it's more of a rectangle, but, so those will go on the table here, so. Now we've had enough rain over the last handful of days, so we don't need any more. And we got lucky, it was supposed to rain Wednesday and Thursday, and it kind of bypassed us. So Haley got her games in, but her game Friday got canceled. It rained all day Friday. It rained this morning on my way to work, but it stopped. So it hasn't rained the rest of the day. So I'm hoping it stays dry. Because what happens here is that our grass this time of year is very thick, and it grows really quick. Because, now you get all the water and the sun's out during the day and the grass grows like crazy, but our ground is so soft that I can't get a mower on it, So, it better not be headed my way. I don't need any more water. You can go south of me. That's perfectly fine. Well, I'm glad that she's hanging there, but she needs to do it on her own once, and you need to video her doing it. All she gotta do is just get the tongue and get a little cricket and drop it in. Then we'll start talking. Now, come on. We want to send all our weather up there to Canada. I mean, you're just across the lake from me, really. I mean, so how much? Well, I mean, the lake is a pretty good barrier from weather. I imagine that unless we're getting weather from you, you know, sweeping down through Canada. It catches you guys over there because you're what we. I want to say this again. You're in Ontario, right? With Dave Scott's in the same area. Yeah, and Ontario's right across from Erie, right? I mean, if we could see, I mean, if you could actually see land, we would be looking straight across at each other. There's another one, Pete. You know Pete Mossman too. I'm sure you know Pete. It's funny because last year or the year before, he had put a picture up, him walking the shoreline there, you know, early spring, and that same day that he was walking the shoreline there in Ontario, I was walking the shoreline over at my in-laws, um, and I took a couple pictures of it was a little beetle or something there, and he had put his picture up. I put my picture up, and it's just kind of weird, you know, that same day. And I was like, you know, you're walking on my beach and stay away from my lake, because that's our lake, Lake Erie, Erie, Pennsylvania, our lake. You guys you know what? You should be paying me rent to be able to be by my lake. I think that's kind of fair, don't you, Trace? Yeah, we had tornado warning, so we had a bad one here. I got a touchdown not too far from here a couple of weeks ago. That was back when, you know, that was right around that time when I had the tarantulas, all those little baby spiders die. It came up so quick, and I mean, the way it came up here, the last time we had tornado warning here, we had time to get out. You know, we got the dog and we got the cat and the kids, and we all got in the van and we drove to Edinburgh, which is 7 miles that way, south. And you know, the bulk of the storm was coming over us here in McCain, and because we live in a mobile home, you don't want to be anywhere near here in a tornado, you know. And then you're just hopefully nothing happens, and you know, there's not spiders flying around in a tornado. Um, but this time it came up so quick we didn't have a chance to go anywhere. We didn't have a chance to get in the car and move because it was all around us. No matter where we could have went, we would have had to head to Erie, you know, head north. But um, it started right around 90, and we're 3 miles south of 90. So a lot of our weather starts there. That's where you get that snow belt. Pennsylvania is right across 90, so we're just right there. So coming off the lake, when we get lake effect snow, it comes off the lake and it goes up. And 90's, you know, cresting. So you know, the lake is here. You know, you have the lake that's down here, of course, and then you know Erie's up here as far as you know, get the bluff and the height. So you know, the weather comes up over top, it heads up over top of Erie, and by the time it gets to 90, it's so heavy that's where it starts to fall. And as it starts to progress, the snow, we're right there. So we'd be at like the very top part of the belt, and then just south of Edinburgh into Meadville, down that in that area is about the other side of the belt. Meadville or not Meadville, but Fairview or yeah, Edinburgh being like right in the middle of the belt, so they really get hammered sometimes. But we got lucky this year. They got weather, and Erie got weather, and it kind of like went this way around McCain this year, so we were kind of fortunate. Oh, now what did you ask me? Sure, Dave, but how much? How much should I charge Shanny for stealing our lake? Yeah, they are. They suck. And the difference between Michigan and Erie is that our lake is much shallower. So our the crap that we get here is pretty intense. I don't know. I mean, I didn't live in Michigan, so I don't know, you know, what comparably as far as experience, but based on the depth of our lake and you know what our weather. I mean, I know everybody's weather can turn on a dime, but there's times when it just gets. Here's a story. Back when my wife and I were dating, I mean, we were just first starting dating. She lived down by the bluff, down by the lake, so she grew up down there, and so we went down to the beach. It's like a private beach between the three streets that lived there. It was like called Eaglehurst, so it was a society, and those three streets of people took care of the stairways that went down the bluff and everything. So we went down there to hang out, and wade in the water and look for beach glass and blah blah blah. And it was a perfectly fine day. And the wind started picking up a little bit, and we were, I don't know, about 250 yards from where you climb down. And she's like, we got to start heading back because the weather's going to turn in a heartbeat. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not a cloud in the sky. Within 25 feet of heading back, the skies completely turned gray. The winds start picking up. The waves start cresting. And the winds were so bad that they were blowing the sand into us at a force that you would think you'd get sandblasted. We had to literally get off the beach and get up into the wooded area to not get hurt from how fast that sand was being blown. The gust, the wind down there, the turbulence of the wind and the speed of the wind is so much more extreme than it is upper, when you get up over top of the bluff. So again, I don't know what it's like in Michigan. I just know they get a crap ton of snow there too. I don't know yet. I think $500 a month for paying rent on a lake is probably a feasible amount of money to ask. Yeah, I think you need to like put up one of them webcams and sneak video her when she probably goes over there those spider cages and says, "Oh, you're such a nice little boy," when you're not there, and then when you come back, it's, "Oh, I'm gonna get that thing out of here." I know my daughter was like that. She's like, "Oh, there's spiders," but then when she came in one day, I was holding the H. chilensis. She's like, "Oh, that thing's kind of cute." Okay, so I gotta cook myself something to eat. I don't know that I really want to get. I really do need to go to Walmart and get some stuff. So maybe I'll just go out and get something. But I got to go because I got to figure out what the heck's going on with them. See if I can real quick pull up YouTube and see if Alex is playing right. At least look at the live statistics going on. So we'll see everybody soon. I'm glad everybody stopped in. Trace, I'll talk to you, probably tomorrow or whatever. But again, thanks for everybody for support. And hopefully we'll get a video out sometime in the near future. I mean, my Brachypelma amelia, the Cercopelma rubronitans, my Pteranopelma sazerae, there's a bunch of spiders that need to be fed, and they're small juveniles, so they'll be really good, and they're open tarantulas, so they'll be good to film. So maybe we'll do a quick, maybe 5 or 6 or 7 spider feeding video, and we'll talk about them a little bit. But yeah, so let me go do what I gotta do, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks again, and happy keeping, right?